Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Durk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDurk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Durk.
Need the perfect ride? The golf cart people have it. They offer a wide selection of new and used models from top brands like Club Car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go. Whether it's a lifted cart for adventure or a sleek ride for the course, they'll find your match. Customize with accessories or choose a ready-to-go option. Trusted by Albertans since 1997 for quality. Visit golfcartpeople.com to find your cart and hit the road or fairway your way.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast.
Visit drvancelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
5 detours that led to hidden gems.
10 pit stops that became annual traditions.
20 games of I Spy that lasted from departure to destination.
Measure your RAV4's comfort and memories, not just mileage. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $97 weekly for 60 months at 6.69% with $3,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Super Yoshida to center.
On Sports 1440.
4 RBIs now for Yoshi Yamamoto. Tensei Yasuo drives it to center. God! 3-run tank for Tokyo.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Up the middle to his left, Bichette has the throw across his body, and what a play by Guerrero looking at the end.
Just after 2 o'clock. Thank you guys for tuning into the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also streaming online, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca tonight. It's a big one. Lotto Max, $75 million. Also 12 Max Millions. Check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your GameSense, Connor Halley with you here. I got Wanye Gretz along for the ride as well from Oilers Nation, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick keeping us going on the stream. Thank you guys for joining us today on the program. Of course, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. Probably not as many of you tuning in on Instagram, but you can also hit some emojis there to show your support if you'd like to. We got a lot to get to on the program. Lots going on in the sports world. We're going to be joined by Cam Jansen, former NHLer, co-host of the Cam and Strick podcast, coming up in about 20 minutes' time. Of course, Milan Lucic trying out PTO with the St. Louis Blues. Also, it was about a year ago on this day, tomorrow, in fact, where Philip Broberg signed his contract with the St. Louis Blues, leaving the Edmonton Oilers, getting a compensation back to the Oilers. That was a topic for a week, 2 weeks, in fact. Well, what the Edmonton Oilers should have done. We'll see how it's worked out for St. Louis. Also, they have their list for the Olympic camp, and Sergey Federov going to get his number retired in Detroit. So we'll talk to Cam. Any memories about Sergey Federov? For me, it's got to be the white gloves, skates, the Nike gear. It was awesome. Also, Brian Diardo will join us from CBS Sports, talk some NFL in case you missed it. Well, yesterday, Joe Flacco named the starter for the Browns. Today, it was Daniel Jones for the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson, 4th overall pick, just a couple of years ago, will be the backup. QB2, good news for him. He's just 23 years old, but it kind of makes it an interesting situation for the Colts as they look to get back. Maybe make a push. I don't know. I think the Houston Texans have the AFC South probably pretty wrapped up already, but can they get second spot, battle with the Jags? We shall see. Terry Ryan will be by at 3 o'clock. We've got Dave McCarthy at 2:20. We'll get to the oil report. We'll also hear from Jason Strodick, former NHLer, get his thoughts on a few things, PTOs, and that sort. Then at 5 o'clock, Spec will be by. We've got 5 questions mixed in there with Declan Kruger. Lots to get to. You can always join us on the text line, 1-833-401-1440. And if you want to email me, you can do so as well. Connor at sports1440.ca. Bring in our co-host for the afternoon, Wanye Gretz. Wanye, how are you doing today?
2 days in a row. I remember that double snatching away of our prospects by St. Louis like it was yesterday. Because you're like, we're going to talk about this in a 20-minute loop.
Yeah.
And we went around and around and around and around and around. And then the next day, because we were covering for Gregor, I go, what do you want to talk about? And you're like, probably the Broberg and Holloway sheets. And we went around and around and around in a loop.
Everyone had a thought on it. And I kind of joked about it on Fantasy Frenzy. Like when it happened, since I was hosting for 5 hours, my opinion changed hourly. It was like, okay, you got to sign them both. Got to keep them both in Edmonton. And then 20 minutes later, no, let them both go. If they don't want to be here, let them go. And then, okay, but maybe keep Broberg, but let Holloway go. And then flip it back the other way. Like I had every single opinion down.
What about a year out now? What is your opinion on that offer sheeting and subsequent kidnapping?
I think they did okay defensively. Like it ended up
the mighty Oilers.
The Oilers, eventually you go there, you get Jake Wallman, which was a good move, and keeping him for term was nice. So I think on the blue line they're okay. At Dylan Holloway's cost, I would have liked him in Edmonton. And I know some people have said, well, they wouldn't match the production. I think he would have. I think he would have played top 6 in Edmonton, but Slade Podkolzin did. I think he could have had Dylan Holloway in there with what he was capable of doing. So a year out, I think I would have been happy to match Dylan Holloway. But they made their decision. Doesn't matter what we think. What do you think, though?
I think they went back to the Cup finals. And I don't think those guys, all credit to them for being good NHLers with a bright future ahead. I don't think they would have won us the Cup.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's 2 games. I mean, your top players weren't your top players. Could they have helped with a little bit of a reinforcement? Maybe, but it's done.
We move, baby.
We're looking back at it, and who knows what would have changed. We don't have a time machine. We'll never know.
We might get a time machine.
The Oilers did get the 2nd round pick, which helped them acquire Wallman, I believe. They brought in Frederick to try to help out. A little offensive depth. Didn't quite work out in the playoffs, but he's in Edmonton for a long time. Hopefully he can do some things in the future, which they must believe because he'll be healthy. He doesn't have the high ankle sprain. We'll have to wait and see. But that was quite the time in Edmonton. Flying Farmer texts in, hey guys, speaking of offer sheets, Mason McTavish, is he eligible to offer sheet? Could or should the Oilers? Maybe they don't have the picks. Well, the compensation would be tough. I'm sure with this one, Anaheim would just match. The Oilers were in a really tough cap spot last year. It was like a perfect storm the way things were going. 2 players, tough cap spot. They had signed a lot of players in free agency. Anaheim would just match it. So I love Mason McTavish. That guy could play on my team any day of the week. when he went through that stretch, I don't know if I can open up his hockey DB as we do this segment, but he played for like a ton of teams. I think it was 2 OHL teams, went over and played for Canada at an international tournament. Then I think he played in Europe. So he was with Peterborough in 1920. Then he went to the Swiss League. Then he played with the Ducks and the Gulls in the same season. Went back to Peterborough, then was traded to Hamilton. This is like a 3-season span. He played for 5 teams. The guy was all over the place. Actually, going back to 18-19, he was with the Pembroke Lumber Kings. I love Mason McTavish. I would take that guy on my team any day, but I just think that it's too easy for the Anaheim Ducks just to match it and keep him. And that's probably what I think happens.
Pembroke Lumber Kings. What league is that?
CCHL?
What league is that?
I don't know.
CCHL.
The Lumber Kings. Junior A hockey.
Oh, in
so
what province?
Ontario.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so he's obviously, I think, it's just to me, it's like that's a guy that loves the game.
Oh, yeah.
So as much as I'd love to see a team like the Oilers offer sheet him or any team would give us something to talk about, I just don't think it will happen.
Do you think the offer sheet is an appropriate weapon in your arsenal if you're a gentleman's GM?
Also, in the 2022, he played World Juniors and Olympics. Guy loves hockey.
That's impressive.
I love the offer sheet. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Do you risk running the risk of the other GMs putting you on a no-fly list and getting them doing stuff to you?
Maybe, but if you're thinking like maybe GMs might not want to trade with you,
or they'll try to offer sheet you back or do other
I think
dirty
it's
trickery.
It's a risk, but when have we really seen that the offer sheets back? Like it was Montreal and Carolina was the big one, and I think some teams will just say, "Fine, take them." Like, well, you offer sheet high enough, we'll take a first round pick or whatever the compensation is. But I think if you handle your cap situation correctly, it shouldn't be a problem.
Why do you think it's done so rarely?
Because I think so many times it has to be a perfect situation. Just because the Oilers last year was the perfect storm. You had 2 good players, and everyone saw them in the Cup final, right? Like Broberg looked like he was a fit. Dylan Holloway had some really good moments. They needed contracts, didn't have them, and the Oilers cap situation was tough, and they weren't really sure with Evander Kane what was going to happen, right? So I just think that was just a perfect storm the way things worked out. When a GM has an opportunity like that, why not do it? I mean, I thought it was a savvy move, and I like it. It gives us something to talk about. And then there's always that debate, right? Should you be doing it? Will anyone get back at you? We'll never really know.
I didn't like it. I thought they were salty haters.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but they got 2 good players on their team.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, if you go back, and obviously we know that there was a little transition in management for the Edmonton Oilers at that time between Bowman and Ken Holland. But if you're doing your job, you're taking care of your own, that's not a problem, right? So if they could have, instead of in free agency going out there and signing some players, your Skinner and your Victor Arvidsson maybe took care of Dylan Holloway, it doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. It keeps it fun.
Well, from our end,
it didn't go this way for the Oilers. Very good, but
no.
I mean, we saw it in the past. Was Dustin Penner was offer sheeted, correct?
Yeah,
with the Oilers, and
it worked.
They couldn't match it. The Ducks.
Yeah.
Burke wanted to fight low
in a barn.
No,
wasn't that the Comrie trade?
Was it?
It was the Comrie Perry that they wanted to fight in a barn.
Well, that never happened though, right?
But just wasn't it just the fact that they were
the thought of it
turning it back around? Remember, wasn't it because of that trade that Brian Burke got so mad?
We'll look into it in the breaks. You and I don't have the memory.
This is what happens when Gregor's. He'd be like, "What are you, crazy?" And he'd know exactly.
Yeah, he would know exactly it. Gord Oil says, no way Holloway would have matched the output in Edmonton. His mind was in a completely different place confidence-wise. He would have been very similar to previous years. I don't know. I think confidence-wise, if you're playing in the top 6 with a McDavid or a Draisaitl, you'd be feeling pretty good. Maybe something changed for him. But I don't know. I think Dylan Holloway showed his offensive brilliance at times in the playoffs. I remember I tweeted, how many goals does Dylan Holloway score next year during that cup run? And people were bullish. 25 to 30, people thought. J Max says, hey, boys. Having growing up in the Ottawa area, the Pembroke Lumber Kings were legendary for bringing in some big players the odd time. That's where Daniel Zubris came from.
No kidding.
So there you go. They do it.
I feel like they should have a sick logo. I'm going to look this up.
You look it up. It's not too bad. Nick says, as it turned out for Holloway and Broberg, it's okay because next year both those guys will be paid over $5 million, and there's no way the Oilers can afford that cap hit, Nick. And I agree with you, Nick. But the thing is, when you do have McDavid and Draisaitl on your team, and you're paying Darnell Nurse and now Evan Bouchard, you have to draft these guys, develop them, and take advantage of them when they're on their cheaper contracts, right? So I would have loved to, had it never happened, you had those Oilers players for services for another couple of years. Then when they price out, maybe then you move on, but you take advantage of those young years. But you're right. I mean, that is totally true. Eventually, they probably would have priced themselves out. If you recall, Broberg turned down a contract offer in January or Feb and made a trade request. The Oilers weren't keeping him regardless. Now, Holloway, they could have kept. Yeah, Rig, I do remember that. And the trade request probably maybe soured things a little bit. But it worked out okay for Broberg. And that's the contract might never happen for his camp. He might have been like, you know what, I think I want out, unless it was a handsome payday.
I imagine the Pembroke Lumber Kings logo to be some sort of king made out of wood, perhaps. It's a crown.
Kings.
And big letters.
Yeah.
Lumber Kings.
Well,
Junior A.
Junior A,
Oh, come on, still.
Eden, father of Arias, texting in. Had Holloway been local, Oilers would have matched. You're thinking because he was a Calgary product or Calgary area, they didn't match? And then Brad, the driver, said Holloway didn't want to be in Edmonton, asked for a trade. Brad, the driver. I don't recall that, Brad. I had heard it about Philip Broberg for sure, but I didn't hear about Dylan Holloway's. Maybe I missed that one. Text came in here from Stulo. Has anyone checked on Yurchuk today? His hands must be torched. Wanye, you went down after the show yesterday, back to Cattail?
Yeah, I did.
And what a valiant effort from Tyler Yurchuk. I had to text him after and say, good work, man. Like, fell short of the main goal, but you raised money and you put a smile on a lot of people's faces. So you won that category.
The difficulty of trying to get a hole in one, 152 yards. He, I think, took the tee at like 7 a.m, maybe earlier, sunrise, and lipped out in the first half an hour. And then I would say throughout the day, I can't remember what his final ball total was. It was well over 4,000, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I think he lipped out like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Close. Where the cup broke the arc of the ball rolling and sent it in a different direction.
And now I want to try it. But only for an hour.
So I left here. I went home. I was sitting on the couch. I was watching the stream. I'm like, why don't I go in and actually watch this thing live? And somebody ran the math that he'd hit a ball every 30 seconds for 12 hours straight.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because sometimes he knocked out like 10 in 30 seconds.
Well, he was doing mega racks, he called them, and he was just hitting. But he was also re-teeing his ball probably 65% of the time himself.
Yeah. Just that motion.
Oh,
for a guy with me with a bad back,
So then the storm rolls in at about 9:30, and I was still there. And everybody had different weather apps on the nation team because there's probably 10 of us there. And then everybody reacted to the weather with their personality type. So the optimists were like, it'll be fine, it'll blow over. And the pessimists were like, we're going to die here. And then everybody else kind of fell halfway through the middle. And Liam Horribin, shout out to Liam, he's like, my app is never wrong. At 9:20, there will be a huge storm. So at 9:19, I left.
Yeah.
And missed the entire storm. But Tyler took it right in the teeth. And he kept at it.
Shout out Tyler.
It's an amazing feat what he did.
Got to say that. Lance agrees. He didn't get a hole in one, but he captured our heart.
Oh, wow.
Lance Falls was saying, I knew he wouldn't get it.
Oh, shut up.
But Lance. Man, it was peak entertainment.
That was an amazing feat.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I will say, I tweeted it last night. That storm, I have never seen that much lightning in my life.
There's a really cool shot of Tyler on Oilers Nation Instagram hitting glow balls.
Yeah.
And in the background is like a ferocious thunder cloud.
Just looking awesome.
Unreal.
The glow balls were a nice touch, I will say. One more thing before we get to break, and we'll, continue our chat of Oilers and hockey and all that sort of thing. Did you get a chance to watch Jays and Pirates last night? Did you see anything with Tommy Pham?
No, I was busy risking my life at the Tyler Yurchuk hole-in-one contest.
Declan, how about you? Did you get Tommy Pham stuff? No. So basically, disagreement on balls and strikes. He gets walked. Tommy Pham, MLB vet, polarizing figure, gets walked and does a little bit of a bat toss. Now, maybe we have the video at some point. Maybe we don't. Doesn't matter. It's like an underhand flick of the wrist, spins it. Blue Jays take exception. Bench is clear. Everyone's coming out because of this little bat toss. Now, mind you, this was not Jose Bautista by any means. This was not a throwing of the bat. It was below the waist, underhand, and it's a problem. Now, you don't celebrate a walk. That's baseball rules, right? Unwritten rules. So people are mad about it. I'm watching this and I'm thinking, like, it was a little thing. Do we really have to overreact and clear the benches? Now, Tommy Pham not starting tonight. Scherzer, I'm sure, would have plunked him. And next time they meet, I'm sure there might be some high heat. But I want to get like the court of public opinion. Does baseball need to chill out a little bit when it comes to these types of things? It was a little bit of a bat flip. Maybe some words were exchanged. But do we have to clear the benches? It's like, the things we see in baseball sometimes, the code, you have to abide by it. I feel like we need to update the code of baseball, Wanye. It was a little thing.
Did they throw any punches?
No, of course not.
Man, come on.
There's been like 3 million bench clearing brawls with one punch thrown. And it was Jose Bautista getting punched in the face.
I know you never cheer against the Jays. Right? That goes without saying. As a Canadian.
Well, yeah.
A team infamous for flipping bats. Should not be getting excited.
What are their shining moments? And I will say this, at the time, like, if I was Jose Bautista with that home run, with all that had happened in that game, I would have flipped the bat. It was unbelievable. But I'm just saying, like, with this instant, we don't need to do it. Nikki Northside, you're sounding like a guy trying to remove fight from hockey. The unwritten rules are there for a reason. Let the benches clear. Nikki, I'm good with it if it's a 95-mile fastball up high and it's in retaliation. Yeah, let's go. Defend your team. But when it's a bat flip below the waist, come on. It's not that big a deal.
When they do a bench clearing brawl, do the guys way out in the outfield come running in?
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't throw any punches?
Never. RBS says benches clearing is insane. Bullpen sprinting in hilarious. Like, yeah, they just flood the field
to do nothing.
For the most part, yeah. Like, there have been punches thrown. There's been fights, but a lot of times nothing happens.
I always think, because I don't really follow the baseballs all that closely, but remember when Pedro Martinez grabbed that trainer from the Yankees who ran again the mound?
Zimmer, yeah.
That was great.
Just guided him to the ground.
That was crazy.
Yeah, well, what was Zimmer thinking?
I've never seen that move ever pulled off live or on tape.
That was kind of like the bull, almost.
Why was that guy
Matador? I don't know. You didn't like him.
What was the play? What was the impetus for this spaz? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
It seemed crazy at the time. Like, we were all much younger people.
Didn't he cried and apologized?
Yeah.
Embarrassed the family. So Cat Dad says Nolan Ryan versus Robin Ventura. Yeah, but that's two players fighting.
That was crazy.
That was pitcher batter right in on it.
Punch.
How many people from the bullpen fought? JP says Connor was all the player who flipped the bat. Bam. Yeah, I mean, it was a weird reaction. I know you're not supposed to celebrate the walk. It was a weird reaction. But I just thought, like, it's the Pirates. Let the baby out of their bottle. Let them walk away. You don't have to react to everything. Mitchell said, only person that matters is the pitcher. If he cares, a batter gets hit. If he doesn't care, nothing happens. If you don't want to get hit, don't show up the pitcher. If you don't care, show up the pitcher all you want. Remember when Pham slapped Jock Peterson over fantasy football? I had a friend who, when we were talking about it, said, yeah, what does Jock Peterson think about that one? It's fun. It's fun discussion, but I don't know. Like, save the fighting for the real stuff. I would have just laughed at him like, you're a loser, bud. As I sit on the couch and watch, though, not in the moment.
If you're a pro athlete and you're in a situation where you get to fight, just to be a legend, you should do it. Who was the guy? Oh, was it Eric? No, Bishai. Mike Bishai.
Mike Bishai from
Remember
the bench.
When he fought against the Thrashers?
Yeah.
Living legend. Fighting leads to being a legend.
And he actually did it. He didn't just talk about it.
Oh, no.
He beat about it.
I remember I was supposed to go to that game and I didn't. And I was almost in tears for missing that. That was like the most exciting thing that happened in a 3-season stretch.
Red texting in 1-833-414-1440. I think it was the flip, then Pham eyeing up the catcher that really got things heated. Yeah, and that could be it. Blue Jays didn't react to the bat flip. They reacted to the idiot acting like a psychopath. Well, the Jays did react. There's a reason it escalated. They didn't plunk them, which I thought Scherzer would do tonight. I wanted for the drama to get Pham out there with Scherzer because he don't care. Kind of a grumpy old man. Axel says, boys, the bench is cleared as a result of the code being broken. How are we making the code to be? If you clear the benches, you have to start chucking punches.
Oh, there we go.
One designated fight. Pick your fighter.
Exactly. The whole team doesn't have to fight the other team. I know that that's too big of a wish. But surely they could pick a representative to fight. And then everyone turns like a schoolyard fight. And you just ring the two combatants and everyone cheers.
That's it. It'll never happen. Hockey, lacrosse, best fights. Everything else kind of sucks. Except for maybe Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan back in the day.
I'll never forget leaving an Oilers Stars playoff game back in the day when they would face them in the Avalanche every year. Remember that era?
Yeah.
Coming out of the old stadium, and there was a ring of people watching a guy in a Mike Comrie jersey fight a guy in a Modano jersey. And everyone was chanting, "Let's go Oilers." And it was such an amazing moment for all of us. That's what it needs to be when the bench is clear, Connor.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe we'll get there one day.
We all chant, "Let's go Oilers."
I think the consensus here from Jay's fans texting in, Tommy Pham, clown. Which I don't disagree with. But sometimes you just let him go. Anyways, Jay's lost. They'll to rebound tonight. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to a guy who knows a thing or two about Chuck and Knuckles. And we'll talk about his thoughts on Milan Lucic. Could he get back in the NHL? Cam Jansen joins us next. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhock beef jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhock beef jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Rooter connects with Gen Z.
I have 84 followers, as my niece would say. Slay.
No, that's cringe.
How do I get more?
You're a plumber. Make a skibbity toilet joke.
A skibbity what now?
Or make a fashion calendar full of super hot plumbers, you know? Plumbers with drip.
Young lady, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop acting so thirsty around my employees.
Burn, Uncle Mr. Rooter.
Slay.
For a plumber who cooks, call Mr. Rooter.
How's your summer so far? Are you zipping around in your new truck from Wolf GMC Buick? If not, you should be. GMC employee pricing continues through August on our entire 2025 GMC Sierras, including the Sierra HD lineup. But just August. Who knows what September brings? Costco members save an additional $1,200 on our 2025 Buick lineup and all our new GMC Terrain. We're here for a good time, not forever. Buy the new reliable vehicle and treat yourself. Employee pricing, 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats, like Alex here.
My phone.
I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Landscaping this summer? Call Bashaw Concrete Products. That's right, more than concrete. Their landscaping division has everything you're after. A huge selection of P-rock, washed rock, and sand. Gray limestone, red shale, mulch, compost, landscape fabric, and topsoil. Plus, the full line of Barkman products, including pavers, retaining wall blocks, fire pits, and precast planters. Landscape products made for your outdoor living space. Residential or commercial, start here. bashawconcrete.com, and follow them on Facebook.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rock. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyag.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you. And I'm wondering what it is I should do.
It's 2:28. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you're watching there, make sure you give us a like. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Cougar, and Josh Fenwick with you here from the studios in West Edmonton Mall. Of course, you can always text us. 1-833-401-1440 is the eWell inbox. Score with your power play partners at eWell. Get all your electrical needs at ewell.ca with 24/7 ordering and shipping in Edmonton and across Alberta. Checking in on the chat there on YouTube. Shout out to Todd, Races fan rocks. Todd, we also got, Lance, of course, who did the mathematics on the Tyler Yurchuk one golf ball every 30 seconds for 15 hours.
I think it was 13.
13
Shout out
hours?
to Lance. Good to see you here, buddy.
Grady and everyone else in the chat. Hello. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching on Facebook, you can do the same. Ryan from Bentley says, baseball is barely a sport. Just chill out. I feel like I've been pretty chill. I just, I
think you're naturally
You know
chill
what?
guy.
I'm even saying to be more chill. We don't have to clear the benches for every little thing. But I want to ask our next guest about that because he actually knew how to fight and did so at the highest level in the NHL. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Cool down with $2 sundaes and snack size shakes. Or check out McDonald's app for an exclusive $1 cone deal. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery. At McDonald's, we bring in a former NHLer, co-host of the Cam and Strick podcast, Cam Jansen, here on the show. Cam, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Not too much. How about yourself?
Oh, it's 104 degrees here in the middle of Missouri.
You got AC?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I better have AC, but a lot of people don't, and it's a pain in the butt, man. Like if you don't have AC, you are a miserable person. So hopefully it chills out a little bit here. But this is what we get down here in the middle of America, man. In Missouri, it gets hot in the summer, and it's actually very depressing.
Oh, we occasionally will get up, different temperatures like Fahrenheit, Celsius, but up to the 30s. And I used to live in a condo when we had no AC. So I don't know if it's the same type of heat, but I have empathy for those of you down in St. Louis going through that. But Cam, before we get to the NHL, are you a baseball fan?
Well, I have to be because I host a radio show here every day. And we talk baseball throughout the summer. We're in St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah. We're talking Cardinals. We're talking baseball all the time. They're not doing very well. The city's going crazy about it. Very pumped up about the Blues. So yeah, I pay attention big time.
Did you happen to see the Tommy Pham incident with the Blue Jays last night? The little bat flip that led to everything clearing. What are your thoughts on, I'll put in air quotes, fighting in baseball?
It's goofy. Back in the day, it was cool. Nolan Ryan did a couple, he got a guy in a headlock here and there. They usually miss punches. There's a couple guys throughout these fights that maybe connected one time, but it's goofy. Everybody runs in from the bullpen and then nothing happens. So, but, Tommy Pham's actually pretty tough though, man. If you really look into him, he grew up hardcore. He's gotten stabbed. He does MMA. So if you notice in that video, He looks back at the, at the catcher. Catcher wanted nothing to do with him. Pitcher wanted nothing to do with him. Then everybody comes in, but no one's grabbing him. And he's looking around like, who wants it? Because they all know that he actually does train for that. So they're probably going to get their asses kicked.
And he's not going to be in the starting lineup tonight, which is too bad because I thought Scherzer might be the guy that might get something going. So I was kind of intrigued by that, but looks like he's not going to be in the starting lineup. Too bad. Anyways, let's talk to a little bit about on the ice here. And the St. Louis Blues making some noise today with the PTO of Milan Lucic. Last played 23-24 with the Bruins. Only appeared in 4 games. Had a couple assists, though. But in his career, obviously a long-time proven NHLer. What do you think the thought process was for the Blues in bringing in Milan Lucic on the PTO?
Well, why not? Why not bring him in? And I know he's been through some things, and we've had him on the pod, and I've played against him for many years, and I like the guy. Listen, we all go through weird things, and hopefully he's crawled out of that, and apparently he has, because the Blues do their due diligence, obviously, on this kind of stuff. So they're like, yeah, come in, see what you could do, talk to these young kids. You're a winner. You're tough as nails. You were a force to be reckoned with in the NHL for years and years and years. So come in. If you make the team, you do. If you don't, you don't. I don't know if they have room for him, to be honest. I don't know how his speed's going to be. The Blues are pretty damn deep this year, and it's just going to be tough to really fill him in. But why not just give him a PTO, see what he could do? Hopefully he does crack the lineup somehow, or make the team. If I had to put a percentage on that, I don't know. It'd probably be pretty low because they're so deep. But why not roll the dice and see what he can do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what kind of shape he'll be in after being out for a while, but we know he's kind of a gym rat, so I would think that physically he'd be right in the right spot that he needs to be. I mean, you say it's a deep team. Is there any spot where he could potentially jump in there? Like, could they use a fourth liner, maybe a 13th forward?
Well, one of their best lines last year was their fourth line with Toropchenko and Walker and Faksa. And now you got a couple new centermen now that are going to take that job that they just signed. And I just don't know. But people get hurt, and it's always good to have a veteran that's one around the young guys, because it's a pretty young team. So you kind of want that a little bit, but it's going to be tough. But you never know. We've seen this happen before. So if he comes in, listen, with Milan Lucic, it's not about his strength. We know it's there. He's going to make plays on the wall. Like he's got skill. He's got hockey sense. He's been in the game a long time. Is he fast enough? That's it. Your first 3 steps. Now, you can look at pictures and how jacked you are. It doesn't matter. You got to be quick. So that's the only big issue, I would say, if you're going to evaluate a guy that's getting older and he hasn't played for a long time. You're like, are you quick enough?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see that. Good storyline to watch out for. And, it's not just the Blues, right? Maybe there's another team that sees him, likes what he can do, offers a contract. We'll have to see how it plays out. Cam Jansen joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, part of the Cam and Strick podcast, former NHLer as well. Want to ask you about the 2 players that the Blues got from the Oilers last year. It's going to be a calendar year tomorrow. Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway signing with the St. Louis Blues. Just get your thoughts on what those 2 players have added to the team, the organization since signing.
I mean, they both have been fantastic. And we just actually had Jen Montgomery on the pod today, and we're going to probably release that in a couple of weeks. But, we dug into that with him, and, he's proud of those guys. And Phil Broberg was, when he first came on the scene here, gosh, his movement, his feet, his hockey sense, the way he passed the puck out of the zone, his breakouts, keeping pucks alive in the offensive zone, where he'd come down, he'd blow past like 2 or 3 guys and try to go, glove side in that little spot. He just almost missed. He could have had 4 more goals last year just because he was able to deke around other defensemen because he's such a solid skater. But then he got banged up, and he slowed down a little bit. So hopefully he's going to be okay. But he's a hell of a hockey player. And then Dylan Holloway, geez Louise, he just fit right in on that second line. He wins pretty much every single battle in the corner. Like, he just goes 100 miles an hour. He gets in there. He will reverse hit you. He'll spin off you. He'll make a play in the slot. Then he'll bust his butt all the way back. Then he'll lift your stick up like Datsuk used to do. Turn, make a play, go back up, get a shot. And then if that wasn't enough, he'd catch somebody with their head down and have a big hit. And then he gets off the ice. And you're like, geez Louise. he is all over the place. And it was very unfortunate that he got injured before the playoffs there against Winnipeg last year, because, man, oh, man, that really would have helped out. He's a hell of a hockey player. They both are. And Doug Armstrong he took advantage of the situation at the time. And that's just what you do.
Yeah, such a savvy move and taking advantage of the Oilers at that time. Like, Oilers fans hated it, but you had to respect it.
But you had to do that, though. Like, if I'm Doug Armstrong, I'm looking at that situation. If you're going to make any moves, like, it's hard to get guys down to St. Louis and sign guys and stuff. So you have to be creative. In that particular situation, it was perfect timing for somebody to make a move, and they had cap space. Torrey Krug was out for the rest of the year, so you had a little bit of money, and he took advantage of it, and it worked.
Cam, the U.S. Hockey Olympic Orientation Camp roster was released. 44 players. Man, good team. Really good players on this roster. Goaltending room was loaded. What was your thoughts? Any surprises from this group?
I mean, not really. Canada and the U.S. are both loaded. They are loaded. I cannot wait for this. Everybody's going to be thinking about this the whole year, but there's still a tryout. We just had Jake Ginsel on, right? And we're talking to him, and we're like, oh, you're going to the camp here in a couple of weeks. And I think a lot of people, I don't know, maybe not in Canada because you're a lot smarter with hockey, but if you're thinking about the Olympics, you're like, oh, are they going to go try out up there? I'm like, no. Jake's like, they just go there and hang out for a couple of days and talk and whatnot, or whatever the case is. But so there's a long way to go to see really who's going to be put in different spots, because they're going to be evaluated all year long. But you never know with the Olympics. You never know. Canada is loaded. Who gets hurt? Who has to fill in? What's the goalie situation going to be like? There's going to be a lot of drama, and there's going to be a lot of talk for all of us on the radio to be able to discuss. Even if there's not much going on with our current team, you're going to be able to discuss USA versus Canada. Who knows what Sweden's going to do? They're pretty loaded too. Finland. I mean, this is going to be so fun. I cannot wait. The Four Nations was fantastic. How that went down. It really was. It helped out hockey so much. And now you get smacked in the face with the Olympics. I can't wait. Both teams are like, you could size them up, side by side. I mean, who's better? I don't know. Maybe Canada has McDavid. I don't know. We have Austin Matthews. It's going to be toe-to-toe. I can't wait. This year is going to be so fun to watch, man.
I mean, one game would just almost be not enough. Like, I'd love to see a series with just how good these teams both are. One more I gotta ask you before we let you go here. I know your career crossed paths with Sergey Fedorov. His number 91 going to be retired by the Detroit Red Wings. Any stories playing up against the great Sergey Fedorov?
Listen, I got obsessed with him. I'm from Eureka, Missouri, and the only way I could watch other teams is to know about other teams is hockey cards, Don Cherry fight tapes, Beckett's or whatever, because I'm not in hockey land. You know what I mean? So It's not in your face every day. I got obsessed with Sergey Fedorov, Alexander McGillney, and Pavel Bure. And they were so cool. Fedorov playing in the 90s. I'm a 1984 birthday. So those guys are the ones I really got into. And just his style, his look, his slick back hair. He's dating all these like supermodels. And then the other guys are dating him too, which was drama. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. It's just cool. I did play. He was just the tail end of his career. When I played, and he was kind of slowing down a little bit, but he was so good defensively. He's so good at playing defense. He could do anything. And I want to get him on the podcast so bad, but it's hard to get these Russians that live over in Russia. They don't have time for us right now. So we usually get some of these big boys on. So it's really hard to kind of, make a date because the time zone and whatnot. But those are the guys that really got me into hockey, besides Brett Hall here in St. Louis with Tony Twist and Kelly Chase. The Russians, I was obsessed with them. They were so unique. They were so fun. And he wore the Nikes and all that, like white. Everybody's like, what is this? He had style. He had style before anybody else did, in my opinion. He brought in, he attracted girls, and he just was a cool thing. And he was such a damn good hockey player. And he's one of my favorites ever, man. I'm totally with you. I thought he was so cool, the Nike gear. And then playing forward, and then, hey, Sergey, we need you to go play defense. And it just goes. Go play defense. Yeah, no problem. Hey, listen, go on YouTube, open a glass of wine and look up them. Just watch some of these games. They're all on YouTube, full games of, when he played in 95, when they, had like 130 points, and when they won in 97, they show every single game on YouTube and just watch how they did their thing. Even Konstantinov and Fetisov and Larionov, watch all those guys. It's unbelievable. It's all on YouTube. And it just really shows Scotty Bowman, man. He's like, yep, go out there, do your thing. They had the puck the whole time. They embarrassed teams. It was unbelievable to watch.
Oh, it was a fun era of hockey. Well, Cam, thanks so much for doing this today. Really do appreciate that. Was awesome. And we'll have to get you on again during the season.
Anytime, man. Can't wait for hockey season. Let's go.
There you go. Cam Jansen, former NHLer, Cam and Strick podcast. Go check that out. And Cam is just one of the best. The energy he brings on the ice and now in media side of things, it's fantastic. And he's right. Like the Olympics, Canada, US, Sweden, Finland, going to be cool for some other players to get out there because they couldn't participate in the four-nation face-off. Leon Draisaitl, guys like that. It's going to be great. That was Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. Take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk some NFL football. It's the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops. Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one. Plus, great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge. Open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and you'd think that as a used RV expert, I'd be a real do-it-yourself guy. Oh, I know all the dirty and grungy stuff that has to be done to keep your quality used RV healthy, and I actually don't like doing it. That's why I hired a whole service team at No Bull. I get to talk about it on TikTok, and they get their hands dirty.
Gotta be some perks to being the boss, Rick.
That's right, Bob. It's only fair that I share it with everyone, which is why we created our Camp Ready Club. Here's how it works. For one low monthly cost of just $30, we'll do your spring opening, fall closing, and all your regular scheduled maintenance on your used RV.
Plus, club members get priority discounts and perks as well.
You know it, Bob. Camp Ready means you've got everything you need. But if you require service or repair during the peak summer season, Camp Ready members go to the front of the line to get you back to the great outdoors faster.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
47, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Jason on vacation. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. Until then, you got me, you got Declan, you got Josh, and Wanye Gretz of Oilers Nation will be popping in and out. I don't know the schedule for the entirety of the next 2 weeks, Wanye, but good to have you in the studio here.
Thanks for having me.
Now just turn that mic on.
Opposite of yesterday.
Whenever I laugh at that because usually you come in on Fridays and I'm on the board.
Sure.
And the amount of times I just hear like, hey, turn your mic on. Oh, my bad.
People are having a good hearty laugh about our hot mic incident yesterday. I'm glad we're here to entertain.
That'll happen.
It'll happen.
What we need is a button for you to turn on and off your own mic.
Do you think I'm ready for it?
With the new studio, I asked that and they said, nah. Denied. New studio though. But anyways, the gatekeeper will keep us on track here and we'll roll with it.
Do you love the new studio? What are your thoughts?
I do love the new studio. I like it cold. So like it's kind of the ice box at times, but it like especially when it's plus 28 outside rolling here, it's not so shabby.
What about no natural light?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
That you're okay with that?
Back when I had roommates, I lived in the basement.
That's a nice touch.
Just a cellar dweller or whatever.
What about nobody able to bang on the glass and stare at you while you talk?
Yeah, the downsides of just being in a big mall with people walking by and yelling at you. That's okay. We're in here. We're in our own little world.
Totally. I love it here.
Right now, we're going to talk some NFL football. It is the NFL Report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and you can save more at legacyheating.ca. We bring in Brian Diardo, covers the NFL for CBS Sports. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You guys basically just described my work environment. I work in the basement, so I've got a little sunlight and it's cold, so I've got my hoodie. So I exactly know the work environment you guys are in.
Now, are you in Pittsburgh?
No, I'm actually in Columbus, home of the mighty Blue Jackets.
Okay.
Winners of one playoff series in 25 years.
All right.
So we're hoping to make it 2 this year.
Does the basement office get a little chilly in the winter too?
Oh, it's chilly right now. I mean, I've got my jacket on, but like you alluded to, you know, it's hot right now, so it's not bad at all when you come down here. Plus, you get that smack of sunlight when you go upstairs. So, you know, it could be definitely worse places to work for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the case for all of us media people. It could always be worse. Talking sports is not so bad. So let's talk about that a little bit here. And the big news today, I would say, down in Indianapolis, is the quarterback situation has been figured out. Anthony Richardson, a 4th overall pick just a couple of years ago, will be QB2. Daniel Jones comes over after being drafted by the New York Giants, spent some time with the Minnesota Vikings, and now he's QB1 with the Colts. How surprised were you to see this announcement earlier today?
Not at all. And I'm not a good prognosticator, but I was about as surprised to see that as I was surprised to see Scotty Scheffler win a golf tournament. I mean, I just, you know, with Shane Steichen, he doesn't have a long leash, especially with this new Colts ownership. I know it's still in the Irsay family, but still it's still new ownership, right? And he hasn't proven himself as a head coach. So he needs a quarterback that can definitely increase his odds of winning now. I mean, if this was a different situation with a more proven coach and a stronger roster, you could continue to try to give Anthony Richardson chances to impress and to get better. But he now will have to do that in practices because, yeah, I mean, again, we all know that Daniel Jones is not Joe Montana, Tom Brady, whatever, but he's a guy that has a much higher completion percentage career-wise than Richardson. Is athletic, not as athletic as Richardson, but he can absolutely make plays as far as with his feet when the pocket collapses. And he does have playoff experience. He is responsible for the Giants' only playoff win since they won the Super Bowl 14 years ago. So, no, I'm not surprised at all, and I think it was the right decision for the Colts.
So what is next for Anthony Richardson? I mean, he's still just 23 years old. He's a very young athlete and, you know, didn't play that much at Florida, so maybe there's some room to grow because we saw the flashes. He looked good, but then there's times where, you know, he checks himself out of a game or he doesn't necessarily take a slide when he should. What do you think, you know, the next couple of years hold for Richardson?
That's a great question. And I think for him, He's got to, if he gets another chance to play this year, which I'm not going out on a limb, but I think he will absolutely get some regular season time, whether that's Jones having a bad performance and gets benched or Jones getting hurt. It's rare now for quarterbacks or any player in any position to get through a whole season unscathed, especially how longer they keep making these seasons. So he'll get a chance, and he's just got to perform well when he gets the opportunity. And as we all know, like any business, the NFL is a league of connections, right? So if his work ethic is good in Indianapolis, if he continues to show that potential in practice, and when he does get any chances to play, that is undoubtedly going to increase his market value. But as far as like getting traded or anything at this point, that seems very far-fetched unless there's a team that just gets decimated at quarterback with injuries. We saw it with Trey Lance in Dallas, or from San Francisco to Dallas via trade. So you could see that scenario potentially happening again, but I don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like it would be cool if he did move on from the Colts, goes to a team where he can learn from a good OC and a good quarterback and what he could become, because he is still so young. So I have hopes for him. But this is definitely, I think, the right move for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. They announced Joe Flacco, 40 years old, as their starting quarterback. I have this vision, and I could be wrong, so you can tell me if you agree or not. But I just see them losing a lot of football games, and then the bye week hits, and they say, you know what? Let's roll the dice and let's go with it with Shedeur or Dylan Gabriel. How do you think the season plays out for the Browns and their quarterback room?
I'm with you, but I think it could happen a lot sooner than their bye week. And I don't know exactly when their bye week is, but I know they're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh week 6, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if Shedeur Sanders was starting in that game, because there's 2 reasons for that. A, we don't think they're going to be very good this year. So why wouldn't you give Shedeur a chance if the season's lost, right? Why would you keep rolling Joe Flacco out there? Number 2, we all know that Jimmy Haslam, their owner, was the one that pushed them to trade or to draft Shedeur Sanders when they just drafted Dylan Gabriel, when they just traded for Kenny Pickett, right? So he wants Shedeur to play, because what does that do? It brings marketability to your team. It brings visibility to an otherwise bad team that nobody's going to want to watch. You have Shedeur Sanders in your lineup. Now all of a sudden there's jersey sales, there's people buying tickets to go to your games, your viewership goes up. So no, I think you're right about them probably not being a very good team, and you're also right that Shedeur Sanders will play. I happen to think it might be much sooner than their bye week.
Yeah, I think bye week is week 9. So my thought process, that could just be a clean transition, and
sure,
it's going to be tough, I think, for the Browns. I'm hoping for Joe Flacco's sake that he can keep it going. Brian Diardo joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in, taking a look around the NFL. We talked Jags on one of our other shows earlier today, and the plan with Travis Hunter. And I was kind of curious about what the usage has been so far in training camp, whether it be, more so in offense or defense. And it was Mark Long from Associated Press, and he had said it's kind of been 50-50. What do you think Travis Hunter's usage looks like this year for the Jags?
I think it'll continue to be that unless there's deficiencies at one position or the other. So, if there's injuries at corner, you might see him more there, or vice versa offense. I see him being more of a defensive player, just because that's, I think, his just organic position. I think that's just where he's more comfortable. That being said, he has shown a knack for catching the football in the preseason. Now, again, let's be honest. The preseason, there's no scheming. Teams are just bringing out their base defenses. It's more of roster competition. That's what the preseason, by and large, is for. So I don't read a lot into him making plays on offense in the preseason, but I also don't entirely dismiss it. I think he will continue to be used as a playmaker on offense, because worst case, it stretches defenses out. It forces defenses to pay less attention to, hey, Brian Thomas Jr., right, who is undoubtedly the Jaguars' primary weapon on offense. So the question for me is his durability, right? I mean, we haven't had a true two-way player in the NFL in like over 50 years. So, and I don't know exactly what year it was. I want to say 1996, but look up Deion Sanders, what he did for Dallas in 96. He was their starting corner and was a Hall of Fame corner, but he played some receiver. I want to say he caught somewhere between 35 and 40 passes and helped take some of the pressure off of Michael Irvin and help open more up for Emmitt Smith. That's the role I kind of see him having. I don't think he'll ever be a number one or number two receiver, but he could be an awesome number three that comes in occasionally and takes some of the pressure off of the Jaguars' other weapons.
He had 36 receptions on 67 targets for 475 yards. 1 touchdown.
That's close. All right.
You're
That's
pretty
why
good there.
I did the ballpark. I was going to guess 37 if you had to push me to a number. So I'm glad I just went with more of the 35 to 40.
Now, I have to say, this is a Chargers fan. No love for Scott Matlock, defensive lineman and fullback.
Yeah, you're right. You got me with that one. That's not a bad one as well. Cordell Stewart did different positions, but did play with the same side of the ball. So, but yeah, that's a good comp as well.
We remember Troy Brown with the Patriots getting out of necessity. I think that was not out of a desire, but I think he filled in okay. I thought back in the day. So yeah,
he led the Patriots in interceptions the year they won their 3rd Super Bowl in 2004. So you're right on it. You're spot on. And he caught a touchdown pass on special teams that season. So no, you're right.
Okay,
and it was necessity. They needed him because Ty Law had a season-ending injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Like that's just, to me, it's like I don't know how many teams would try that. Like, let's just grab someone off the practice roster. Whereas Bill Belichick says, I think I got a guy who can just flip over and play defense. It's crazy to think about now. So I want to ask you, before we let you go, Brian, and really appreciate your time today, storylines through training camp. Is there anything you're watching out for as we head into week 3, final week?
From a training camp perspective, not necessarily, as I think about all the positions and everything. To me, it's more regular season what I'm looking forward to. But no, I mean, preseason, not really. I think mostly everything's been decided. My main thing is Kenny Pickett, whether or not the Browns will trade him. I think that's the biggest thing. I know he started training camp as their starter and then had the injuries and then, lost his job to Flacco. So I don't know if he'll play in the preseason finale for the Browns or not. Because like I said, he's had injuries. Like we saw Gabriel already play. To me, that's the biggest question. You see rumors the Browns might keep all 4 quarterbacks on the roster, but that makes no sense at all. So I think one of them is going to be traded. So that's what I'm curious about. But I will say super quick, one thing no one's talking about, it seems like, is that Jalen Ramsey of the Steelers has switched from corner to free safety, but he's still going to guard the opposing team's top receiver. I think the Steelers defense could be a huge success story in the NFL this year that no one currently is talking about. So that's not for the preseason. That's more for when the season starts. But preseason, that Browns quarterback and who they're going to trade, to me, is still very interesting.
So Jalen, he's starting at safety, but he's also going to cover the top receivers?
That's correct, and I have no idea how that's going to work because Mike Tomlin literally said this week that Jalen Ramsey still is going to get top assignment. I know when they're in the base defense, he's starting free safety, and when they go to nickel, he's going to move into the slot.
Mm-hmm.
But that obviously doesn't compute with what Mike Tomlin said. So I'm super interested to see how this all plays out. I was at their first week of training camp, and I think Ramsey could play both sides if he was younger. I don't know how good his hands are. He is an unbelievable athlete, and I think that's one of the biggest storylines in the NFL that no one's talking about.
That's interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he's used, and that makes sense. I mean, some of the guys we've seen in the past make that move from corner to safety. I think he'd be a good fit there, so we'll watch out for it. Well, Brian, thanks so much for doing this today. Really appreciate you joining us on the show.
Anytime. Thanks, guys.
There you go. That is Brian Diardo, covers the NFL, for CBS Sports. Goes around the NFL for Legacy Heating and Cooling. I'm so intrigued by having a guy like Travis Hunter. Like, that just, to play both sides of the ball, to have the skill set is one thing. To have the athletic ability, another thing. But also just like to compute it all. Like, you have to learn 2 playbooks essentially. And he's done it before. A lot of it's kind of similar. Maybe it's just different terminology. But to take all that in and then go there and do it and then play like 60 snaps or whatever, that's very impressive.
How will they rest him throughout a game?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he won't play special teams. And Declan, maybe you can probably talk with us just a little bit more here because you followed him quite closely in college. Like, do you think it's certain packages on defense he's not out there, and the same thing on offense, like not an every down player on either side of the ball? Or do you think he's like every down defense and then certain packages on the offensive side?
Yeah, no, I think it'll probably... Well, listen, I think he's a far better corner than he is wide receiver, no disrespect. The reason I think he's playing wide receiver is I think they look at, Trevor Lawrence as a bit of an investment at this point, and $275 million man not really getting it done in terms of wins, so they need Travis out there to bolster the offense. But I think he's a far better defender, so I think he's going to predominantly be that second wide receiver. I don't know how much he's going to get in the slot. Looks like he's going to line up as the second wideout from what I've seen, and then be used in like dime and quarters packages defensively. That's what I think it'll be.
I think that's probably a good analysis. So we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we get to the text box, 1-833-401-1440. Get your thoughts on a bunch of things, whatever you want to talk about. Oilers, Broberg, Holloway. You're away or you're out. Anything changing in your opinion, you can let us know. You can also email me, Connor at sports1440.ca. But right now, we're going to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Cattail Crossing. Early risers, this one's for you. Tee off bright and early and enjoy your breakfast on us. Only $55 with a rise and dine at Cattail Crossing.
The Edmonton Elks have added American wide receiver O.J. Hillier. Hillier joins the team after being released by Hamilton following training camp this year. The 24-year-old most recently attended Bowling Green from 22 to 23, where he recorded 103 receptions for 1,279 yards and 10 touchdowns. Montreal Alouettes announced that quarterback Caleb Evans will miss the rest of the 2025 season with a torn ACL, and the St. Louis Blues announcing that they have signed veteran forward Milan Lucic to a PTO, as we discussed with Cam Jansen earlier in the show. Columbus Blue Jackets also signing veteran defenseman Brendan Smith to a PTO contract, and former NBA star John Wall has retired after 11 seasons in the NBA. Indiana Fever announcing that guard Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the campaign with a knee injury, and the one final from earlier in the MLB saw the Cubs over the Brewers 6-4 for their 71st win of the season. At 4:40, it's going to be the Blue Jays in Pittsburgh against the Pirates with Max Scherzer on the mound for the club. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update. Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company. More than just big bottles, it's Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Streaming on Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, make sure you hit that like button. We appreciate you guys doing so. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick here, keeping you guys on track for the rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Lots to get to on the show today. Still, we joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sports. Now we got Jason Strudwick. Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM will join us in a couple minutes here. But right now, we will get to our co-host, former NHLer, actor, author, Hall of Famer, Terry Ryan, joining us now. TR, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Not bad at all. I'm in Brampton, going to play tomorrow. We got hockey night in Brampton. It's a fundraiser, and Austin Matthews is playing in the game. Jeremy Roenick, Owen Nolan, a lot of big timers. I'm really looking forward to it, and you don't often see current players like Matthews in games like this, so it's pretty exciting.
What is the, conduct policy when you have a former NHLer taking part in this? I mean, I assume you guys aren't out there throwing hits anyways, but just pretty laid back, having some fun. And I mean, will you talk to him like, hey, let's see that shot a couple times here?
I will definitely try to. I mean, I'll go introduce myself. It's, you're talking about whether you're a Leafs fan or not. I'm kind of impartial, but whether you're a Leafs fan or not, this guy's one of the best goal scorers in the world. You can make the argument he's the best. And like I said, we normally do this. It's always a thrill for me if I meet a guy like Roenick or, Brad May at a lot of these events, Matthew Barnaby. A lot of us do these fundraisers. A lot of it's under Jackson events. And so we do a lot of work for them. And, it's about 40 or 50 of us. There's a bit of a turnover. And, we all do multiple events a year. But like I said, it's normally players that have already retired. Ryan Getzlaff's part of that group now. So it's still it's a real great way to travel and still be connected with the game. I really enjoy it. But, yeah, when we get out there playing, it depends on the situation. There's never hitting or anything. But, sometimes you go to these things and, it might be we'll get drafted out maybe into a team. Maybe there's 9 or 10 teams, say. Tomorrow's just one game. But usually we go and it's, there's 9 or 10 teams. They'll draft a quote-unquote like a NHL celebrity each team, and then you play. But yes, you might get drafted by a team that's still playing. Maybe they're a junior team or something, and the wheels are going. And usually you got to kind of explain to take your foot off the gas a little bit. That happens. But you got to have respect, especially with Austin Matthews. I mean, it's a privilege that he's playing in the game. He's going to make a lot of money for the charities involved, and I would think when it comes to that, I mean, no one expects much. It'll probably be a few shifts. I'll be surprised if he plays the whole game. And it'll probably just be a couple of periods. These things usually are more about the interaction before and after. Hockey's kind of secondary.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. And you're there to raise money. Good on Austin Matthews, preparation for the season to lend his name to that. It kind of reminds me of just the story of McDavid and Draisaitl playing hockey with that beer league team. What was it, about a month ago? And I was thinking if I was one of those players, I would be saying to McDavid, can you just once go full speed just to give me the appreciation of how good you are? Early on, Draisaitl, one shot from your spot. If I was with Austin Matthews, I'd say let's just see it a couple times, because I mean, when it comes to just release and shot, Austin Matthews what, top 1, 2, 3 in the league?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it's honestly some of the times when he gets open and finds his shot, and it's honestly like watching an artist at work. So I know that, and I know that those kind of shots don't usually happen in these games. But you asked me if I was going to talk to him. I'm going to wait till on the ice. I mean, if I meet him before, I meet him before. But I want to meet him on the ice and ask him exactly that. Can you, because there's going to be a warm up, and I'd really like to see, and I'm one of the best at what he does of all time, really. Go to work. I would assume that maybe there's often when you go to these things too, like not like a skills competition sort of thing, but like a mini shootout, or they'll have a shooter tutor and people will be shooting. So I would be surprised maybe if he doesn't put on a little bit of a show, knowing that people, I mean, they usually do that. People know, why certain players are there. And like I said, it's more about afterwards, but there'll be some sort of display of skill. I would be surprised if there's not.
Now, let me ask you do so many charity events, and, that's well documented from our show because you're always joining us from, hotels across the country. Who was the former player that maybe surprised you the most with just, good person, good stories, good times?
Yeah, and this is a thrill for me because for obvious reasons, but I'm still a fan of the game and everything. And when I played, I really looked up to guys like Doug Gilmour. I mean, that's obvious, but I really mean it. And Wendell Clark was one of my favorite players of all time. I made friends with Shane Corson, but he was one of my favorites. Chris Nyland was my favorite. I was a Habs fan, and Nyland was my favorite player. And I do all kinds of events, including his own golf tournament. I just came from about a month ago. For the Liam Foundation. So that's the thing. You meet all these people. Now, you also realize when you do these things, you come to realize that, just having good stats and being a great player, like that's just half the battle, because you got to be sociable and you got to go and, people, I'm assuming when I go to these things that people want to hear some stories, right? Like you wouldn't be drafting me. You wouldn't ask me to come to this event if that wasn't the case. So we're probably going to talk about Shoresy, a little bit about the Montreal Canadiens, maybe the Growlers game, and the odd person wants to talk about a book or maybe the Jason Gregor Show or Tales with TR. So I kind of read the room and I know exactly what people want to hear, and usually it's a team of people, at least if not a room full of people. You get up and say a few words. We often do a hot stove, a live Q&A, but a lot of players don't want to be doing that stuff, right? So there aren't as many out there on the go that are actually, I don't want to say good at it, but have such a knack for raising money, because you're not, it's not like you're going on Facebook and saying, hey, I'm selling tickets on this or that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but that would get monotonous and old. But when you're these people that go to they want to donate. They're there to donate money, right? But they want to be entertained, and you got to know that going in, right? There's a reason that we're asked to go to them. So for me, I just make sure that people, like, I know why I'm there, and I make sure they get the autographs they need, or often, they'll order a Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs jersey ahead of time and make sure I come in and sign it, or a Canadiens jersey or whatever. And so it's all about the interaction, right? And then from there, everybody's in a good mood. You're there to raise whatever, for whatever foundation. I do a lot for Hockey Helps the Homeless, for the Easter Seals, for the Gordie Howe Cancer Foundation. That's just a few of them. Alzheimer's Foundation here in Ontario, sick kids. We do all kinds of these things. And when you like Brad May, Doug Gilmour, they're great. Like they make sure to tell stories. And I'm still hearing stories from Brad for the first time. And I've been doing these with him for a decade or more. And this year, like we did, I would say I've done 20 with him at least this year, if not more. And, you really, because a lot of these guys, I mean, that were big, that there was a reason in the room. You come in, and part of getting to professional hockey to some degree and being successful is knowing how to handle that environment, or you just fall off the map, man. And, on the ice is one thing, but usually a good leader in the room, like that transfers over onto regular life afterwards, right? There's a reason you're in there and you're looked up to on this particular team. It's a team, but it's a business like anything else. And you got to represent, you got to learn how to speak and be a leader, and all those things, they spill over. So the guys that are good at it are usually captains or assistants wherever you go. And Andre Roy, right? He was a very outgoing player that would be good for a quote or two. Jeremy Roenick is here in the hotel with me now. I just ran into him. He got in a little bit early. I'll probably have a bite to eat with him later. And then JR will still be telling stories because he just loves doing it, right? That's what he loves to do. So from that perspective, it's usually the people that you would think. The best players have been in the spotlight a lot, and it usually mirrors their on and off ice antics.
That makes sense. Terry Ryan joining us here on the show will be with us for the next couple hours as we talk all sorts of things. We'll talk Sergey Federov as the Red Wings going to retire his number 91. The Americans having their camp, pre-Olympic camp announcement roster, 44 players. We'll touch on that. But TR, before we get to our break and bring in Dave McCarthy, I got to talk a little Blue Jays with you. Now, Vlad Guerrero Jr. not going to play tonight. Inflammation on the hamstring, which is tough. But last night we saw some fireworks with Tommy Pham, and it went into post-game where Tommy Pham decided to tweet some things out, which he went back and eventually deleted. What do you think of this whole Tommy Pham and the air quote bat flip and the fiasco that came from it?
Well, first of all, he's got a history.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, the guy's a bit of a loose cannon. I think he really overreacted. I mean, I didn't see that Heineman said much, and the ump often talks to the umpire, the catcher often talks to the ump. It's that's almost a necessity. You have to have some sort of a relationship, and the batter is often does the same. The batter can question a call without being disrespectful, and from what it seemed, Heineman either commented on the pitch or whatever. But, that's between him and the ump as well. I don't know why Pham would have anything to say or get so fired up in that situation as well. And with a game that was rather meaningless for them, every game has been, I don't know, maybe he's just over the top pissed off about losing so many games. I mean, like I said, he's got a history of doing things that are off the wall. A quick Google search will take you there. Numerous times, outbursts that don't make sense or are misguided or ill-informed. So, for me, this is a guy that has a history just making something out of nothing. And, it's a bit of adversity. The Jays now, right? They're talking about who knows if Bichette's going to come back, if Guerrero's hurt now. Barrios has lost a little bit of speed. The baseball season is so long. It's peaks and valleys, and you never jump to conclusions, and you got to stick together. Now, it's great that their Jays can put in any one of those pieces can be replaced temporarily because they got a great squad with good depth. And I don't think they'd be in trouble against Pittsburgh. But it just reminds you that, there's bumps in the road, and it's a long, long grind, man. And, you just got to try to stay, playoff worthy all year and then peak when you get in there. And peaks and valleys, and you never know.
Yeah, it's too bad Pham not going to play tonight, not in the starting lineup, because I thought Scherzer might have something for him, but we'll see. Maybe later on. Now, we'll take a break here, Terry. When we come back, we'll be joined by Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM NHL. We'll take a look around the NHL as the offseason rolls on. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Just West Brab and 118th.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and and operated.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Durk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Durk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDurk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Durk.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
For all things golf carts, it's the Golf Cart People. Their certified techs provide expert service from maintenance to custom upgrades. Customers can explore the sales floor for new and used club car, Yamaha, and E-Z-Go models. The Golf Cart People stock a wide variety of parts and accessories to keep every ride in top shape and offer convenient rentals for tournaments, weddings, and festivals. Trusted for sales, service, parts, accessories, and rentals since 1997. Visit the Golf Cart People at golfcartpeople.com, your complete golf cart solution.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
That's why our legendary employee pricing is back. This August, get the Ford you want at the price you deserve with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin. It's our way of saying, welcome home.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations. What are you doing?
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe. Some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Terry, Ryan, Wanye Gretz with you here from the studios in West Edmonton Mall. Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick keeping us on track on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Give us a like if you are watching on the stream. We do appreciate it. Wanye, that helps with something, right? Helps with the numbers.
Absolutely.
Gets us out there more.
Gets us out there.
So hit that like button. Even if you're listening and at home, just go on your phone, open up YouTube, Oilers Nation. Give us a like.
That's all we need.
Maybe we can set a record. 1,000 likes.
A record.
Let's go for the big number.
Let's go.
Jason Gregor Show, of course, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, Lotto Max, $75 million. Also, 12 Max Millions. If you're going to make a deposit, maybe you want to bet on the Jays to win tonight. Code word Gregor50. Get a $50 free bet with a deposit. Remember, use your Game Sense. GameSenseAB.ca. Right now, we're getting to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company. Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches, safely taking your team or group to their next destination. Visit silentrides.ca for more information. We're joined by Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM NHL. Dave, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good, boys. What's going on? So many people here, and I tweeted about the wrong one. So I'm glad you corrected me, Connor, because I like to be accurate when I tweet things.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should have let you know earlier. Gregor on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so we got kind of the big cast to try to fill the shoes of Jason. And 2 days in, we think we're doing okay. But I have to ask you, you're inside. Is it not ideal weather out in Ontario?
No, it's kind of rainy, but like not enough that it's actually making a difference outside. Just enough to keep me inside, which is quite aggravating. Quite aggravating indeed. We haven't had a lot of rain here in my part of Etobicoke this year, Connor, but today it's just it's a rare wasted day this summer. We haven't had many of them, but today is one of them.
Keep it to a minimum. That is always good. A couple PTOs today, some news to talk about. Let's start off with Milan Lucic and the St. Louis Blues. We had Cam Jansen on, obviously former NHLer, earlier on in the show, and he kind of thought it might be a bit of a long shot for him to make this team, but an opportunity. What was your thoughts when you saw the news about Milan Lucic, a PTO with St. Louis?
Well, put it this way. I think the world and all of my buddy Cam Jansen. Love that guy like no other. But I'll put it this way. I would have had the same reaction if I had seen news that the St. Louis Blues had signed Cam Jansen to a PTO that I did when they signed Milan Lucic to a PTO. In other words, safe to say, and I'm just showing you here. Here's me and my buddy Cam last year at the game. Beautician. The guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But Cam's playing days are behind him, and so too do I think are Milan Lucic's. So I agree with Cam in that case. It was a surprise. Like, I don't think Milan was able to skate particularly well, or certainly well enough when he last played. Like, he seemed to step behind the pace, and now he hasn't played in 2 years. And how old is he? He's got to be in his mid 30s right now, right?
37, I think.
37. Yeah. Okay, so when you were a guy who was never Connor McDavid-esque in terms of your fleetness of foot, you're not getting any faster. The age of 37, let alone what forced him and compelled him to step away from the game when he last played. I was surprised to see St. Louis go down that road. I think it's a long shot. Hey, look, we'll see. I haven't heard much about Milan and what he's been up to the last 2 years. If he's, done some work and improved upon some things in his life that clearly required improvement. I am all for giving people second chances, provided that you've done the work. To show that you've recognized an issue and are attempting to better yourself. But at the end of the day, when it comes to playing in the National Hockey League, you got to be able to play. I just don't think he's a guy that's going to be able to contribute much at this point in his career.
We also saw Brandon Smith going to the Columbus Blue Jackets on a PTO basis. Any other names you think that we should be signing or seeing signed to PTOs in the next couple of days here?
I'm sorry, did you say Brendan Smith to Columbus on a PTO?
I did, yes.
I'm going to have to send a text message, but that's another story entirely. Yeah, good for him. We're going to have a talk. But
who do you have to text?
Who do you think I'm going to text? But no, good. I mean, put it this way. There are few guys who I think will be better in a 6th, 7th D role than Brendan. And in Columbus right now, they could use a guy that can bring some veteran presence to the room. Like, put it this way, if they've got him and Eric Goodbranson as kind of like 6th, 7th D men, and then you can spot start them in terms of what type of lineup you're looking for. Do you need a left-handed shot? Do you need a right-handed shot? But those two guys are salt of the earth guys in the room. I think that's really good. Like Brendan told me earlier in the summer, he wants to play at least 1 more year. He'd like to play 2 more years. So that's really good to hear. Like, it's just been quiet, right, Connor? By and large, this summer, like, not much has happened. Last year we had the offer sheets with Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg that gave us like 2 weeks worth of material. It's been really quiet. So, we're starting to see some news trickle out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what else is going to come down the line, because I thought there might be a little bit more, but I think what we're going to see is so many teams think that they are in a position where they're going to be able to contend at least for a playoff spot, or improve upon where they have been for a number of years, which is bottom of the league standings. I think we're going to see more movement in and around U.S. Thanksgiving this year. Once invariably 20 games in, you start to see some teams that thought they would be good turn out not to be as good. And then suddenly some guys that would have a tremendous amount of value to other teams would become expendable.
TR?
Dave, what did you think of the American picks for the Olympic squad invites to camp?
Yeah, I mean, the only omission that I could nitpick is Lane Hudson.
Yeah,
I was surprised, but when you look at it, you have to look at roles, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily consider. So if you're the United States right now and you're looking at what Lane Hudson brings you, he's a guy that is primarily going to work the power play and is going to be a guy that moves the puck. But when you look at what they have already on their list of available players, who's playing that role? Not Lane Hudson, right? Quinn Hughes is probably playing that role. So if not Quinn Hughes, probably Jake Sanderson is a little bit ahead of him on that depth chart. Then Zach Werenski's making the team. He's a guy that can fill in that role if Hughes or Sanderson becomes injured. And so then you say, well, what do you need in a role down the lineup? You need like 12 to 15 solid, reliable minutes, who can kill penalties and can be a stabilizing presence on your back end. Lane Hudson's not that guy. There are guys that are more reliable defensively than Lane Hudson. So that's why he's not going to be on the team. I was surprised they didn't invite him, though. I'll put it that way, because there's a lot of guys on this list that got invited that are not making the team. Like Frank Nazar from Chicago got invited. He's not making the team. Come on, let's not kid ourselves here, right? Macklin Celebrini got invited by Team Canada. I would be shocked if he made the team. But what they're doing there is they're inviting guys that may not be a part of it this time around, but the next time around, when they're like 25, 26 instead of 20, 21, 22, they're going to be a big part of the program. You get their feet wet. You get an understanding of what the Olympic program entails, and you get that kind of awestruck nature out of their mindset by the time they're expected to be big parts of the team. I thought the United States would operate on the same wavelength with Lane Hudson. They didn't. But in saying that, even if he had been invited, I hate to tell you, Terry, but most people seem unclear on this concept. He was not making the team.
Yes, I know what you mean. I was surprised, though. Like you said, there was so many names that he didn't get invited to camp. Sergey Federov, his jersey retired. What's your favorite? What do you think is the most memorable thing about Sergey Fedorov?
Oh man, like the Nike skates, like his drip was legitimate, was it not, Terry?
It was. I was surprised more people didn't have it. It was a look he had all to his own.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of cornered. I don't know what the agreement was between him and Nike back in the day. If Nike was only providing to Sergey Fedorov, because no one else really seemed to wear Nike, and like Nike was never a big equipment provider. Like when I was playing minor hockey, kind of in that same era, right? Like it wasn't really around. and they don't really do much hockey now, if anything. So he kind of had that look, but man, did he ever make it his? And like, this guy was electric, right? Like, he was one of those old school Russians that really paved the way for so many guys that have come along since then. You know, if you ask Alexander Ovechkin, who was one of his idols growing up, I'd be shocked if Sergey Fedorov was not in the top, 2 or 3 names, along with a guy like Alex McGillney or somebody like that. So yeah, it's about time that Sergey gets his recognition in Detroit, because man, he was a big part of those Red Wing teams. You think about the Red Wings, Sergey Fedorov is a guy that immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. The swagger he had with the look, the cool hair, the number 91 always looked awesome on him. And then Kornikova. I mean, we all remember that, right? So, yeah, he had a heck of a run in Detroit. And I'm kind of surprised it took so long for this to happen, but glad it did, as we're talking to Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM NHL. Just saw earlier today, Dave, don't know if you saw it, Travis Yosti's doing his tierings when it comes to positional groups around the NHL, did goaltending and defensive units. Tier 1 talent for wingers. He's got the Panthers, Kings, Wild, Lightning, and Vegas Golden Knights. Now, kind of a tough question because I know you don't have all the rosters memorized, but any omissions you think to the elite tier of wingers in the NHL?
So run that over again. Panthers,
Kings, Wild, Lightning, and Golden Knights.
Lightning and Golden Knights for wingers.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any of those teams and say I'm shocked that they're in that group. Put it that way. I think the Leafs were strong winger-wise in the past, not as much anymore now that I should say Marner is gone. And Florida, they've got an embarrassment of riches up and down that lineup. When you've got a guy like Brad Marchand and Eetu Luostarinen playing on your third line, you're in really good shape. So, they've probably got in Florida, not math on the fly here, 6 wingers, 2 wingers on each of your top 3 lines, where any one of those guys could be top 6 wingers on another team. But the way they've built their team and structured it, they've got that embarrassment of riches, and it continues to be that way when you've got a guy like Brad Marchand who was content to stick around and play in that role. And Luostarinen. Like, I remember back during the playoffs when everybody was going on about Luostarinen, and was asking Paul Maurice what he thought about him. And he was like, he's not very good. I'm just lucky to be able to put him on the ice, and because he's got his contract's coming up next year. And then someone's like, no, he's got a few years left. Oh, he's got a few years left. This guy's an amazing player. I can't believe I get to play. And that just goes to show you, Paul Maurice thinks that this is a guy who should be playing up the lineup. So yeah, Florida, like, did he have Florida number 1 on his list? Because they should be number 1 to me.
It's just tiering.
Oh,
but so he does have them as the first listed team. But this could be alphabetical as well. If you're wondering, Leafs are tier 2, Oilers tier 3, and then tier 5 is the Flames, Jackets, and Sharks.
The Jackets, eh? And the 5th tier?
Tier 5.
Interesting. Like, yeah, I don't know about that, because like Kirill Marchenko is a really good player. Kent Johnson had a really good year last year, and I would expect him to continue to take a step forward. Boone Jenner is a quality player. If he plays the wing now, and I would expect him to do so now that they have Charlie Coyle in Columbus, he's a solid player. Dmitry Voronkov, I thought, had a good year. Igor Chinnikov, I know there's some, I guess, unrest in terms of his position on the team right now. But if they can convince him to be happy and play there, I think he'll get a good opportunity. And I think it'll behoove him. Matthew Olivier is, I don't know if I can say the word, but I'm going to say it anyway because Cam Jansen probably said it in the last hour. Matthew Olivier is a shit kicker, the likes of which we don't see in the NHL today anymore. But he can play. I think he had like 15, 17 goals last year. Miles Woods, I don't know about that. 5th tier for Columbus? No, I disagree with that one for sure. They should be much higher in my opinion.
How high?
Well, not first, but like certainly not 5th, like at least 3rd. Like if the Leafs are 2nd right now with I'm not thrilled by their wingers outside of Nylander and Nyes. There's not a lot of guys that excite me right now in Toronto the way it did before. Like Bobby McMahon, like he was disappointing in the playoffs. Dakota Joshua, he had a down year last year. I think he needs to show more. Max Domi had a down year during the regular season. He was better in the playoffs. Matias Michelli had a down year last year in Utah. He's going to need to be a hell of a lot better this year. And Calle Yarncroc, they're trying to trade. Steven Lorentz, good player, but 4th line guy. I love the guy, but he's a 4th line guy. He's okay. I don't know about tier 2. I'd have Columbus pretty damn close, if not higher, in terms of potential in more spots. Like, I don't know if Columbus has a Nylander or an Nyes right now, but up and down their lineup, I think they've got pretty good depth and young guys that have the potential to continue to improve and maybe turn into one of the more top tier guys in the league.
Huh? You know what? I like the articles because they bring up good discussion, and you brought some good points. If we get Travis back on the show, maybe we'll have to say, hey, a little higher for the Blue Jackets. Dave, thanks for doing this today. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Okay, boys. See you.
There you go. Dave McCarthy, Sirius XM NHL host, joins us every Tuesday here on the Jason Gregor Show. I'd say 95% of the time it's at 3:20, 3:25, but occasionally slides around, and we'll check in with him next week. Maybe do some award predictions or something like that. Classic offseason chatter. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, and Terry Ryan with you. Here it is, the Jason Gregor Show. We'll take a break. We'll come back, get into the inbox and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
If you're looking for the ultimate off-road adventure, you'll find it in a Jeep Wrangler. And if you're looking for the ultimate financing deal on a Wrangler, you'll find it at St. Albert Dodge. Right now, St. Albert Dodge is offering 0% financing for up to 72 months OAC on their full selection of 2025 Jeep Wranglers. And it's a great selection. Sport, Willys, Sahara, and Rubicon, plus all the new colors, all on the lot ready to go at 0%. Come see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases start at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress. And get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't
handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and you'd think that as a used RV expert, I'd be a real do-it-yourself guy. Oh, I know all the dirty and grungy stuff that has to be done to keep your quality used RV healthy, and I actually don't like doing it. That's why I hired a whole service team at No Bull. I get to talk about it on TikTok, and they get their hands dirty.
Gotta be some perks to being the boss, Rick.
That's right, Bob. It's only fair that I share it with everyone, which is why we created our Camp Ready Club. Here's how it works. For one low monthly cost of just $30, we'll do your spring opening, fall closing, and all your regular scheduled maintenance on your used RV.
Plus, club members get priority discounts and perks as well.
You know it, Bob. Camp Ready means you've got everything you need. But if you require service or repair during the peak summer season, Camp Ready members go to the front of the line to get you back to the great outdoors faster.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They are the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, TAG, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
My best friend on football ties. I can still see Billy smiling when we finally made it. To Talladega, going crazy. Whiskey in gold glass. Here's to turn it up, slowing down. Cars that go real fast.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, 75 mil. The Vince Wilfork of lottery is also 12 max millions. PlayAlberta.ca. Make sure you use your GameSense. GameSenseAB.ca. Connor Halley with you here. We've also got Terry Ryan, former NHLer, actor, best-selling author, podcaster, Hall of Famer, and Wanye Gretz in studio. And right now, we'll get to Ryan's rant, or a variation of it, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, TAG, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. And TR, we talked about this in the past where we were going to ask you some questions from our listeners. And with that, we've actually stored a few of them. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to get into it and ask you some of these questions if that works for you.
Sounds good.
Okay, question number 1. This is about acting. If you could portray anyone in a movie, so you're being this character and it could be a real person or fictional, who would it be?
Wow. Okay. So I've actually thought about this before. Now, when I'm Hitch, I mean, I'm acting, but I'm playing a hockey player, so it doesn't feel like as much of a reach. My favorite thing I've done, not that you asked, but it's called A Fire in the Cold Season. I got to be I was literally a cold-blooded killer, but so I got to really dive into that, and I had a lot of screen time on it. So that was a lot of fun, and it felt like a real diversion from, I had to actually go somewhere, and generate another person. But if I ever did it for hockey, I would like to do music, I thought, because that would be the same sort of idea. I'd get to do something I like while, also on camera doing something different. But as far as hockey, what really intrigues me, there's a player, I don't know if everybody would have heard of him, but at the time, he was the Wayne Gretzky of the time, the Connor McDavid, whatever you want to say, best player. And his name was Cyclone Taylor. And this was, I think he came into the NHL in like 1910, maybe around there. And he played in a really weird era. And the rules would change as they went. So there was eras that you couldn't pass it forward in certain zones. There was a rover. So he didn't really get to break out and do what and goals, and the games weren't the same. The goals weren't counted the same. So it's hard to really, like people say you can't compare eras. You can kind of compare eras in that, the relative dominance in each era. So, people go, like McDavid or Gretzky, for example. It's really hard because, all I know is that Gretzky won the scoring almost every him or Lemieux, and McDavid either wins it or is close. There's ways to compare at least the relative dominance of the era that you're in. Well, the stats weren't really the same, and the rules were so different when Cyclone Taylor played that it's tough. But when you use relative dominance, he was the best. And he was known as being really fast. I mean, the skates. I mean, you ever seen a pair? Go to the Hall of Fame and look at a pair of skates in 1910. I mean, everybody had the same disadvantage. But like he was known to be by far the fastest. He was the best scorer, smartest player, and he played a bunch of sports and was like phenomenal at all of them. So he really intrigues me. And other sports that go back that have such a long history, and really baseball and hockey are the longest in the four sports we're talking about, or at least if you look at the very, very long history of it, goes into the 1800s. And Babe Ruth is still kind of celebrated, but I fully believe because the game is very similar, and there's a lot of differences, of course, when Babe Ruth played, but the hockey was almost unrecognizable. But we know that this guy was that good. And hockey fans, a lot of them don't even know who he is, whereas baseball would celebrate all those guys. You go back and kind of, I could name all kinds of names from the history of baseball that go back for the 30s, 40s, 20s. You know who I'm talking about. It was Shoeless Joe Jackson or Ted Williams or Mickey Mantle. You go back, and I think hockey kind of disconnects before Rocket Richard a little bit. And there's a whole lot going on. It's intriguing. The way the rules were played was intriguing. But Cyclone Taylor was a deep individual that I would have liked. Apparently, he was a really smart guy. But that's who I would like. I'd like to bring that to life somehow. And who knows? When you get to do these things, people listen. And I'm writing a few things now. I wouldn't be as bold as to write that yet. But that's how you get your foot in the door. So hopefully someday, if I don't get to, if it doesn't happen, then maybe I could be part of it.
I was watching a Football Life, the show the NFL Network does, and I said it'd be so cool if another sport, maybe the NHL, did this, and a guy like Cyclone Taylor would be awesome to like spotlight him and introduce the. I mean, he was born in 1884, right? So he played a long time ago. But any information you had on him, I think that'd be a really cool documentary. So I'm on board for that one. Another question we had: what is it like being in the room with a teammate that players don't necessarily like? So, you hear that term all the time, and I think it's a little bit dramatic, but cancer in the room. Have you ever been in a situation, we're not asking you to say any names, but how can that impact a locker room?
Yeah, it does come to mind because it really stands out. Usually people are tolerable, right? But something might happen, and that's hard to get back from, and then sometimes people are just jackasses, right? And you got to deal with it. Yeah, it's happened a few times in my life, unfortunately, and each situation is different. It's a judgment call. You're in a room, man, with 20 guys, give or take, at any different time, and that's just the players, and then there's a whole lot of other personalities associated with the team that you see every day: the trainers, the masseuses, the brass, all of that. Even the people that that are preparing the food, you're running into a lot of the same faces. But when you get in that room with the guys that are on your team, and there's someone that clearly stands out as, like a team cancer, it's usually dealt with kitty gloves. Like in my situation, you might have the leaders of the team might get together, and then that doesn't mean the captains or assistants, or it doesn't always have to be. It could be someone's in a rookie's grill or whatever. Like, it's why it's a judgment call each time. But I've seen it a few times, and I've seen it at every level. And, in the NHL, clearly I didn't have as much pull in the room or anything, but I did spend a lot of time in there, and a team's a team, and you have to, you forge ahead as a team. And there's been some times where obvious things have happened, and I can think, going back to Tri-City, I can think of a half dozen, and each one was dealt with differently. Personalities, it's hard to, so I often say, when it comes to coaching, that's a big part of it, is just dealing with all those personalities. And it's a real big part of it that a lot of people don't see, or they look past, or they assume isn't as big a part of it. But for me, I'm thinking of all the coaches I had, and they had to have a way with the players, right? Like and it's tough because there's so many different personalities, and some people are quiet, some people are loud, some people want to be clowns, some people lead by example. It takes all kinds, and if you get one in there that's disrupting the clan, it can, and I've also seen it not get dealt with, and the team loses or underachieves because of it, right? So it's a real thing, and I'm sure sometimes when you're looking there as a fan and you're wondering why, like, geez, it's weird that this guy's out there and he's not being signed. I'm not saying every time, but a lot of times there's a reason for that. It might be because he's not desired in the room.
We are just asking TR some questions that have come in over the last couple of months from our listeners here for Ryan's rant. And now, last one before we get to break here. Do you have a favorite episode of Shoresy?
So season 5, we shot a few months ago, and that's about to drop, I guess. And the fight will probably be fall or Christmas. I don't make those choices, but it's not going to be any longer than that. It'll be this year, for example. So, and people that watch the show, like, I don't know which episode it's going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be episode number 3, but there's going to be something that happens that is my favorite, and the reason will be obvious. I really do think the best season of Shoresy is coming. We all do, and what's about to happen is 100% going to be my favorite episode. To this point, my favorite scene would be when in season 4, when I get to sing Sheriff, When I'm With You. It's one of my favorite songs. And Jarrett, right before it, he asked me, he said, who are some of your favorite Canadian bands and what songs do you like by them? And he asked me about ballads and this, and I didn't realize he was asking me because he was going to have me sing one of them. I didn't know that. And so when I saw that, it's a hard song to sing. So I just drank tea and water for a week. I usually smoke a bit of weed here and there. I didn't do any of that. I didn't drink. I just got on there and did my thing. And I'm glad it pulled off, but I pulled it off to a degree. I mean, the boys were singing with me, but I just didn't want to be off key. That was the thing. I just didn't want to absolutely butcher one of my favorite songs of all time. But the later in that season, it would have been the last episode. It's great because that was reality. That was in season 4, I don't want to spoil too much, but the premise is that, it's the off season and there's some kids that we're mentoring and we go to, on the ice with them, and it's just kind of, what's the word? It's monotonous. We're skating them, it's nothing, but we're not really advancing much with them when we're on the ice with them, but they have a few problems off the ice that they asked us to help them with in the show. And, so that's what happens. We end up, forging ahead with the group, and we become a team off the ice in ways. And I don't want to spoil it. So, a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but that's what happens. But the last episode of season 6, when that all culminates, it all comes together. Well, that was real because we got to know those kids, and they're real good friends of ours still to this day. And it was just real. It was hard to get through those scenes emotionally. It was the first time on the show. Usually we do it, and then I look back, and usually towards the end, Jared will have a real juggernaut of a scene, and then there's a little bit of drama, right? And a lot of people say, "Man, I can't believe I'm crying watching Shoresy." If you only watch clips, you're not going to get that. But if you watch the show, you're going to see that there's a story here. There's a lot of compassion, right, to the situations, and a lot of empathy from people that are watching. They've been there and they've struggled with things and personalities and leaving the game and being in love with a girl that doesn't love you back or whatever it might be. So in this situation, we're mentoring these kids, but we were doing that in real life. We had a rookie meal with them in real life. Like we got to know them. We took them out with us. We showed them the ropes of certain things. We're just a little bit older, but we've been through all that. Chase Coughlin was playing on the Sudbury Wolves while we were filming. So we'd go to all the games and got to know the team and, brought back a lot of memories. So that was, to me, I guess, favorite episode from the point of view of filming it, because when you see our reactions and the way we're acting with the kids, we're not really even acting. I remember that all of the last part of it, we're we're celebrating a great summer in Sud Vegas, but in real life, it was a great summer in Sud Vegas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Blueberry Buddies. I'm familiar with it, and I will say, TR, like when you guys talked about it, like the idea of doing the show during the summer, I was kind of skeptical, and then I watched it and I thought, oh my gosh, this is actually really good. And the way you guys introduced the new characters, the kids into the show, and taking on that mentorship role, it was really good and like a feel good end to the season. So I highly recommend anyone who hasn't watched it to make sure they do. And then new season coming out this winter, maybe before Christmas. Looking forward to that. So that was a good rundown, TR. We'll keep those questions rolling in today and going forward so we can do this segment again. But appreciate those texts that come in and the questions for TR. Right now, we will take a break. When we come back, more texts. We can talk some more hockey, maybe a little Major League Baseball as well, as the Jays look to rebound against the Pittsburgh Pirates after yesterday. But right now, we are going to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, Lotto Max $75 million, also 12 Max Millions. You can get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. And remember, all the money, all the revenue, it stays in Alberta at PlayAlberta.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, Elks news. In case you missed it, the Elks have added American wide receiver O.J. Hillier. He joins the team after being released by Hamilton following training camp earlier this year. The Elks announced that quarterback Caleb Evans will miss the rest of the 2025 season with a torn ACL, and the Columbus Blue Jackets have signed veteran defenseman Brendan Smith to a PTO. The National Lacrosse League's Albany Firewolves are officially relocating to Oshawa, Ontario ahead of the 25-26 season. The league announced today, and the Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen has selected Daniel Jones to be the team's starting quarterback, opting for the veteran free agent acquisition over the club's 2023 first-round choice, Anthony Richardson Sr. One final from earlier today in the MLB, it was the Cubs over the Brewers, 6-4. The Blue Jays are going to be in action in about 40 minutes' time out in Pittsburgh. Max Scherzer on the mound for that one, and Vladdy Guerrero Jr. has hamstring inflammation and will be out of the lineup. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. The KJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
McDonald's Sundays and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases start at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress. And get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The 8th Annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair. They'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is this Friday at 9 a.m., featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and pad foot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scrapers, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It is Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza. Use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Make sure you hit that like button. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by playalberta.ca. Use promo code Gregor50 with your deposit and get a $50 free play only at playalberta.ca. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz. We got TR joining us. Also, Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick keeping us on track here as we roll through this Tuesday afternoon on the show. Wanye?
Josh just said something very shocking at the break.
What did he say?
He says he prefers shawarmas to Donaires.
Well, TR, do you want
to step in here, TR?
Are you a Donaire guy or a shawarma guy? Is there a difference?
I can't believe you're saying this. Me and my buddy have this all the time. We have this conversation. Yeah. So I'm a Donaire guy, but and then he's a shawarma guy, and we often talk about it. And we honestly, we take turns going back and forth. I enjoy both, but definitely Donaire first. But that could be because I spent a lot of my my coming of age years in Halifax, and Halifax has some legendary Donaire spots with sauces.
Now, what goes into the perfect Donaire for you, TR?
Oh, wow. I guess when it comes to the meat, it depends which place. I find Donaires are, you can order certain things and it tastes similar wherever you go, but I find the meat has to be perfect for the I can't explain what spice it is, but there's certain places that it just falls flat. So that has to be essential. After that, you can hit me. The sauce has to be. That's why there's a few places in Halifax famous for their Donaire sauce, and those are the two most important things for me. Then you can just dress it up, tomatoes, lettuce, onions, but hit me with whatever. But that has to be flavored perfectly for me.
I'm with you. Oh, sweet sauce, onions, lettuce. I go no tomato personally, but a little cheese in there. Oh, that's Wanye. What about you?
Well, I'm still thinking about Josh over here picking shawarma. He's now full-time with the station, is no longer an intern. We missed our window to get rid of him. And now he's here permanently. And now he's starting to speak the truth about his character.
Yeah.
You think you know a guy.
He's a Flames fan too.
What?
So there's a lot of things you're learning about him now. Camrose Chris texts in. Kick him off the show ASAP.
Amen.
TR, we got another question rolling in here from Hammer. And this is actually a good question because maybe we haven't really asked you yet. But Hammer wants to know, does Sudbury actually have that many good-looking women?
You know what? They're spot on. As they say in Newfoundland, they're spot on. It's okay. Sudbury's really, it's vibrant. I heard, and people that have been there in the winter to play, they might laugh when I say that, but it really is. It's not as far. Like when I heard Northern Ontario, I thought I was going up around Thunder Bay, which would have been like I don't know, 10 hours beyond that at least. It's way, way up. Right, but Sudbury is only a few hours north of Toronto. It's really not that far. So, and it's got a big lake right in the middle of the cities, and it's got a big university population. Right, so those things, especially like I said, summer in Sud Vegas, it's really vibrant down around the water, and a lot of people live or spend time down around the lake. A lot of summer sports. And to me, a lot of people, like Newfoundland, they like to go fishing. They like to do outdoors things. So Yeah, I think just it's got a general younger population that enjoys going out. And if you go out, it's really specific. And there's times in the winter that there's not a lot on the go, people might think, but if you know where to go there and you know where to hang out, there's definitely an energetic kind of I wouldn't say underground, but definitely a vibe. People that on the surface you wouldn't think so, but I would say a lot of younger people that are either students or have moved there. A lot of people as well for that reason. I mean, I spent the last few days in Muskoka. Muskoka is just south of that, right? And like I said, the Georgian Bay, where Parry Sound, that's where Bobby Orr is from. That's a little bit south of Sudbury. Then you come into Muskoka, and Muskoka is great, but the places, I mean, they're tens of millions of dollars. It's a very, very expensive area. It's a nice area to visit, but you can go just a little bit north, like I said, a place like Sudbury, and get things that are way more affordable. So I was surprised. There's a lot of younger families that I didn't expect. I'd heard the exact opposite, but having gone there, I really noticed that a lot of it is, it's affordable. And like I said, there's a university that people like to go out and do things. So yes, there are a lot of good looking women in Sudbury. It's true to form.
Now, we did get a text here from Mitch TR, because correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we did discuss it, but your overtime winner at Nationals.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty wild. Now, when we go to these things, guys, I will explain, because a lot of people ask me about those ball hockey tournaments. So for years, I've been going to these, and the Nationals happen every year, and we go with Team Newfoundland one way or the other. This year, I played 2 divisions. I almost bit off more than I could chew. It was really hard. I played the 33 and over, which is called Masters, and the 44 and over, which is called Legends, right? And then there's the Open division. Newfoundland didn't send a team. Usually I'm a spare there just in case they need it, and getting into the playoffs. Normally, you rest a guy or two. So I still am involved in that. And then we got a girls team that goes now as well. Well, now they've been going for 15 years, but it's more popular than ever. But when I started, it was just the male nationals, and I didn't really know about the worlds or anything. So that's every year, and then there's all kinds of divisions now. There's under 13, under 15, 17, 19, 23, and there's a Canada in 15, 17, all of that, all the way up. So the nationals are every year, and Team Canada is every second year, right? So the last 3 times, so the last 6 years, I've been playing on the Masters team. For Canada, we won it in Buffalo a couple years ago in a shootout. So when we go to these, a lot of these guys we're playing against, like at least 4 or 5 guys on every team I've played with on the national team and everything. But there's a big time rivalry and a camaraderie, but also a rivalry. So we were playing Montreal there, and we've run into them for years. And so that was a big win. Our Masters team, which features a few guys from the Chicklets Cup, Justin Pender, Jeremy Bishop, Mason Reed. So that team that we played, the Montreal Machine, they used to be the Montreal Black Knights, and I played on that team for 8 years when Newfoundland didn't have as much in the 2000s as much going on. But now so we run into that was a big win. Like, people are like, well, you guys are celebrating, and you're on the floor, and it looks like you're taking it pretty serious. I'm like, yeah, well, we do take it serious. That really, it keeps me not grounded isn't the word, but it's the only time now that I get to really be competitive with my friends. And we've done this. These are all guys that I've played hockey with my whole life. A lot of them I've won senior championship with. I've won baseball championship. We play sports, and that's what we do. We love it. They're my friends. So I always make sure to go. But, every year, the only nationals I've ever missed was last year because we were filming Shoresy season 4, as we just talked about. But this year I didn't have a chance. I couldn't play in the league at home. But we have like a league at home, and people like pay to go see the provincials, and they pack it like, there's a real thing at home. So it's one of the sports that we can compete on a national level, right? But running is the great equalizer, like I've said. So in Newfoundland, there's like to work hard and run. So we just basically run you down if we're not better. But so you got to be ready for that. And this year I do a lot. I go home and we got to skate every day at noon, as I've often talked about. So and I just couldn't get to the league games at night, or whether I was on the road or my daughter had something. So I was in shape, but I hadn't run. And it was, wow, it was hard, man, because I was playing in 2 divisions. And so the Tuesday I got there, it starts on Monday, because they don't like to have too many games in a day, right? You're not, even when you go to Worlds, you never play 2 games in one day. It's just hard on the body. And You get dehydrated. But everybody you go to the Nationals, and everybody has one day where they have 2 games. And that day I had 3 because I was playing in the Legends as well. So that was a big time challenge. And my legs were so sore. I mean, it was a battle, but we won. It was funny. I don't want to go on too long about ball hockey and bore people, but how we got in. Okay. So we're the Newfoundland Masters team, and we kind of blew it. We lost one in overtime, and we blew a game early in the tournament. I think we played 6 round robins. So we needed New Brunswick to beat Edmonton. If New Brunswick didn't beat Edmonton Whalers, they were called. Scotty Holben, one of the best Team Canada guys. There you go, name drop. He's out there probably listening to the show. And a lot of those guys I've played with. But we needed them to lose. Now, they were winning 5-4. Okay, so we're sitting there watching it. We're out. We're out of the playoffs if they lose. Now, New Brunswick ties it up with 5 seconds left and wins it in overtime. So we go from being completely out. Now we get a bye the way it worked. Now we vaulted up to number 2 in the standings, and we get a bye in the quarterfinals. So now we don't have to play in the morning, which was huge for me in the 2 divisions, myself and Jeremy Bishop. And then now we play in the semis, we win that, and we get in the final against New Brunswick, who are the team that did us the favor, and we beat them 4-1. Now in the regular, they beat us 5-1, right? Like, so we had to bring our best game, and there was a little bit of luck involved. Well, a lot when them getting us in, but it really ironic how it worked out. We were nearly out of the whole thing, and we won it, but it's a battle. Those are my real good friends. If anybody's curious, I made some posts on it a week ago. And that's real. That's real elation. We win the Nationals, and we're really proud of it.
Mitch says, you're being modest. You scored a snipe from the dot. You did tag us in it. We shared it. That was quite the shot. And it was slow-mo, I believe, right? So you kind of got to appreciate the beauty of it. We also had Stair Farmer saying, love the ball hockey talk. Keep it going. So, TR, and you're not boring anybody with the discussion there. And we actually got a text here. First-time texter, no name. I don't know if this story is going to be okay for air, but it says, ask Terry about the pitchfork from the Whalers.
Yeah, there was a guy on the Whalers. Okay, this if he wants to know, this happened. I'm being objective. I'm telling you that this happened. It was, I think it was our first game, I believe. And you work on things. I hadn't played with the boys in the summer. So we're going over some plays. So the face-off's in our zone. There's 18 seconds left at the drop. We're beating them, I think, by 2 or 3. So the game was over. Yeah, it would have been. We're probably beating them 4-1, whatever it was. If it was within 2, that would have been a different approach. So anyway, we're down in the corner. I'm taking the face-off. But, we have a play we work on. So I got my buddy to go take the face-off. I line up. Now it's in our zone. And in ball hockey, once you gain the blue line, you're allowed to bring the ball back to the red line. Then half the rink becomes the offensive zone, right? So it's very hard, and you're running, you're not skating, obviously. So it's real. It's a hard game that way, but there's a lot more space in the offensive zone. So these guys, the D come in and pinch below the blue line. Now the game's over, but I guess if they win the face-off, they're going to get a shot on net or whatever. But we're working on a play. So I said, Mike Dykester, I'm going to get Bish to go in and take the draw. And he'll try to win it or whatever, and I will. Or I might have got kicked out, but once I got kicked out, that was it. I was over. I said, let's try the play. And where it goes back to Dyke, I just blow the zone, and he rims it around, just like in hockey, I guess you could do. He rims it around. But now there was a lot of separation because I just saw where those guys lined up. Now, I didn't want to be rubbing it in. I could have gone in on a breakaway. Right. The point wasn't through them. I don't know why this guy came at me, but I'm guessing because maybe we did the play. I don't know, but I got it, and it was kind of. And I took the ball. I looked. I was going 60%, and I kind of just looked over and passed it in. I mean, you're not going to not try. I passed it to Mason Reed on the other side. The game was over. Mace took it. Weak wrist shot. Whatever happened, the play was over, and it was done. Now this guy comes at me again. Still competitive. I'm out there. This is a very, very competitive game in sport. And he spears me right in. I mean, I had a jock on, but it went up under there. It was like a little loose. It really hurt. Like it really, really, really hurt. I don't remember losing my mind in ball hockey in more than a decade. And I got up and I went at him. I nearly dropped I nearly did it. And I just had to, and like you're back, and I hadn't done anything like that. Like, and I'm on TV, I'm doing this, I'm going to events. It's really hard to go in and out of this zone where you're really competitive. And at that point, man, it was like I said, like that Growlers game. Like, at some point it's like a novelty. But after that, like we're here to do something competitive. And you just did that to me. Who do you think I am, chump? Like, I got really upset. We both ended up getting kicked out. And I'm glad I kept my cool. But yeah, that did happen. Now, I don't know who that guy was. He acted like a jackass. I know afterwards he came out in his only words. I went right over to him, man. I said, that wasn't cool. And he said, yeah, well, I didn't get you where you think I got you, which is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. I know it did. Obviously, you speared me. It's on camera. But anyway, most of those guys, I've never had a problem with. It doesn't speak for the whole team. I knew that. A few of them felt bad. I know Scotty came over, and I was just like, look, dude, I know this guy's probably a bit of a wingnut. He's got a history of it. Much like that, we're going to tie it together. Like this Pham dude, same sort of thing. I don't want to get into it, but this guy has been suspended for spitting in people's faces, other things. So, as soon as it happened, that I was approached by all kinds of players, and they all told me some incident. I mean, right in the same game, he ran a guy from behind.
Yeah.
Mason Reed. So, I mean, those kinds of, then again, it just doesn't speak for the Edmonton team, but that'll give you an idea. And, people are, and from his perspective, I guess, he is, people might have looked at it and said, oh, you're taking it too serious for ball. I don't think so at all. I think he brought a little bit of ignorance into it, but now, he's doing a thing. He's out there and, he's not any, I forget his name, but he's not easy to play against. He is pretty good. And, you get that, what's he going to do factor. I understand why he's kind of a little bit, I won't say feared, but respected on the ice. But this particular guy, he just goes too far sometimes. But it is water under the bridge now. But yeah, at that time, I was absolutely rotted, man. I nearly went nuts.
No, hey, I don't blame you. And you know what? You got to believe in karma for those situations. One day, he'll do that to the wrong person, and they won't hold back. And it's not going to go good, right? Terry Ryan, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz. It is the Jason Gregor Show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to a guy who might have seen red once or twice in his NHL career, Jason Strudwick. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by playalberta.ca.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense. Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Centre on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Centre by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
Another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases starting at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress and get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Ah, yes, the majestic air swing. Don't fret, Colonial Golf Club welcomes all skill levels, even those who struggle to make contact. Colonial's championship course is designed to challenge pros, entertain amateurs, and provide just enough hazards to keep things interesting.
Whoops.
Well, at least the Ducks are impressed. Colonial Golf Club, just south of Edmonton down 50th Street. Book your tee time now at colonial.ca.
New Crust Alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new Cheddar Crust Pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping Cheddar Crust Pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So I'm out on the couch this afternoon. With models laying on the kitchen floor. If we take them out, we can buy some more. So I doubt we'll go without this afternoon.
It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X. YouTube chat going a little bit crazy right now. The debate between Schwarma and Donaire. Josh, the professional, no longer an intern. Kind of a one-man army here. I think everyone is kind of on team Donaire except for Josh. So Wanye, he's not. I would say he's fighting a good fight, but I disagree with him.
He's shadow boxing. He's drunk with power.
He's giving companies free plugs and stuff. Like, we don't do that. No free plugs. Text line 1-833-401-1440. Please join us on this show. Or text in. Get in the conversation. Let us know. Are you team Donaire or Schwarma? Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Terry Ryan with you, sitting in for Jason Gregor. And now we're going to bring in someone else. Former NHLer. I got to think he's probably team Donaire. Jason Strudwick, also one half of the Got Your Back podcast. Struddy, how you doing today?
Good. Are you allowed to have either of those sober? I don't think I've ever had either one sober.
I mean, I kind of think I don't think I've had a Donaire in like 3 years, and it would have been after a night out. So I'm probably with you. What is the perfect Donaire combination? Like, what are you putting on it?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of Donaires. I saw a video about it one time, and I kind of gave me pause. So I'd say that I like I said, I really only have them when I'm, a few deep. Then I kind of lose my inhibition, right? So I don't know. I guess I like the what do you put the cheese on there? Not the cheese, but the sauce.
Yeah.
I like the sauce.
Sweet sauce or dill?
Dill. I like the dill. But yeah, honestly, I usually just get whatever everyone else is getting. I just, I'm a little more pizza. If you want to talk pizza, I can be a little more specific. But those two, unless I'm really feeling good about a night out on the rocks, probably not going to happen.
Struddy, what did that documentary about Donaire say?
Well, I was living in Switzerland. It was just a video. My wife and I were just pounding the Donaires over there. They're quite popular. And then we saw kind of how the meat was made. And I'm not anti-meat. I love meat. But I was like, well, I don't know. So I kind of just gave me pause a bit. And like I said, I mean, they taste unreal. I love the bread and all that stuff. But yeah. So not as many as I used to. Not as many as I used to put down.
Oh, that's fair. Okay, well, what's the night after drinking pizza then?
Hawaiian. It's always Hawaiian. You get 3 if they're big. You can get a nice pizza. Like I used to live not too far from White Ave, and I'd have a fun night on White Avenue. There was a pizza place, Funky Pickle.
Yeah.
I'd go there and get a few pizzas, and I'd walk down White Ave and walk home. It was about an hour walk home. There was a 7-Eleven on the way. I'd eat the pizza, stop, get a Gatorade or something, and by the time I get home, I was pretty much tip top, ready for the next morning.
Oh, I love it, Struddy. Former NHLer Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Struds, I guess kind of the bigger news story of the day from the NHL, and it is the dog days of summer, of course, but Milan Lucic going with a PTO to the St. Louis Blues. And from the people we've talked to already, obviously Dave McCarthy, Cam Jansen, not too much optimism that he's going to make the team, but you would have gone up against Milan Lucic. What do you think of him giving it another go here at age 37?
Well, I think this is a great story. It sounds like, or not sounds like, when he left Boston, there was some stuff happening, in his personal life that he needed to work on, and you see some posts from him and his wife that he's found kind of a different path, or a path that he wants to follow now rather than the one he was on before. So I think that's really great, and that's really positive because we're not talking. Who cares about hockey when you're dealing with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is number one. But if you want to translate to on the ice, I think the challenge for him is just getting around the ice quick enough. The game is not slowing down. He's not getting any younger. He's a big, strong guy, and that's what made him effective for, what is almost 1,100 games plus, some playoff games. So I would think that this will be a challenge for him. But I wonder if it's not an opportunity for him to come in there, kind of show what he can do, and then feel good about the way he leaves the NHL. So let's see, he doesn't get an offer from St. Louis or any other team. He can leave and say, okay, I came back. I walked out the door with my head held high and can be proud of what he accomplished because he had an amazing career. And he was like a unicorn for many, many years in the NHL. And so I think it's a really positive story. So whether he gets a contract or not, I don't think there's anything bad can come from this because of the way he's kind of worked himself back into the person that, I think that he and his family want him to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the social media, you are starting to see that, from his wife, and the family looks happy, which is a great thing. Like you said, that's what matters more than anything else. On the ice, Travis Yost from TSN has been putting out his tier list all summer long. We had him on the show talking about defensive units last week, but today he dropped his wingers list, and the Edmonton Oilers falling into tier 3 among the likes of the Avs, Red Wings, Canadians, Sens, Devils, Penguins, Blues, Kraken, and Canucks. So a lot of teams in tier 3 when you look at the Edmonton Oilers wingers as a whole, and there could be some moving around, but you've got Ike Howard, Zach Hyman, Podkolzin, and Savoy, Trent Frederick, who said he could play potentially center, Nuge as well, Mangiapane, Kapanen, and Janmark. There's a lot of versatility. When you look at this Oilers group of wingers, where would you put them tier 1 through 5?
Well, my biggest concern is the size. And the Oilers got a lot smaller this offseason on the wings. When Ken Holland came in, he said, I wanted to get big and fast wingers, and he did that. Look at the guys he brought in. He did exactly what he wanted to do. And now they've kind of gone a different direction. And not that there's anything wrong with being skilled, but if you're a little bit smaller, the game's a little bit different. So, what can Savoy do? He's a really talented player who works hard. What does he look like? What does Ike Howard look like in his first professional year? Podkolzin, can he get to 20 goals? He had chances. And I think that based on the chances he had, he should be, scoring hopefully 20 goals this year. And then Mangiapane, a guy who's, he's going to be moved up the lineup from where he was playing in Washington. So a lot of wild cards there and a little bit smaller bodies, but smaller doesn't mean bad. It just means small. So they have to use their speed, their quickness, their hockey IQ to make it hard on the other teams. And then Trent Frederick, to me, I still think he's going to play center, whether it's this year or next year. I mean, they've got 8 years to figure it out, but I think that ultimately, a big, strong center like that down the middle, that to me makes a lot of sense, especially when throw it behind Connor and Leon.
Struddy, what do you think about the Iceman? Are you pretty pumped up? That's probably the best nickname an Oilers prospects had in 20, 30 years.
Is that Isaac Howard's name?
Yeah, the Iceman.
It's funny. I just watched Top Gun 1 and 2 with my kids. And I really like Val Kilmer, and he kind of has a neat cameo, or not a cameo, but it's a small role in number 2. I think for him, it's tough because you want players to have confidence, but you also have to back it up. This isn't now. You're not playing against junior players. Every player in the NHL was a freak in their junior team, or a freak on their college team, or a freak in their local community. So if you're the freak of the freak like Leon and Connor, that's great. But if you're just average and you're acting like you're talking like you're a freak, it can be a challenge and not even who cares what the fans or the other teams think. It's about what your teammates are like. Hey, well, you got to back this up. And you can't keep telling us how good you are, not back it up. But I'm not saying that Howard's like that, but I played with young players and it's hard. It's really hard. So how they handle them, how they manage them. Did he start in the NHL? Did he start in the minors? Did he start beside Leon or Connor? Did he start in the third line? Did you put him with two veterans to insulate him? Like all those things, I guess TBD. But I'm excited about him. I'm really excited about it because he can be a one-shot scorer. And, having those guys around is really helpful. Just ask the Pittsburgh Penguins and Phil Kessel.
TR?
Shrugs. Sergey Fedorov's getting his jersey retired, his number retired. Sorry. Now you would have played against him a lot, I would think. What do you think is the most memorable thing, or do you remember anything specific?
Oh yeah, he embarrassed me so bad, and not because he dangled me, but we went. There was a time where Scotty Bowen felt he was bored, so they put him on the blue line, and he was arguably the best defenseman in the games he played, and that's what Nick Lidstrom on his team. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to go back and play D and be from an all-star, Hall of Fame center to go back and play D and be one of the best 12 on the ice, or if not the best 12, the 12 best player on the ice. So yeah, he was amazing. I didn't like the white skates, but they suited him, and so talented, such a smooth skater. And I think I don't think people appreciate how competitive he was. Sometimes you go against a Russian, you could kind of push him out of the game, but not Sergey. He hung in there and so skilled. So, well deserved. But yeah, the day when he played D, I was just really, really embarrassed about that, and still am.
I remember that. I forgot all about it. That happened, man. Detroit were funny like that too. Can you remember Matthew Dandino did the same? Like they drafted him as a forward, and then he ended up going back and playing D. I guess I didn't really think about that. Were Detroit famous for doing that, or were they the only? Like it's kind of foggy in my mind. But until you said that, I forgot.
Yeah, those two did it. Dandino, John Clemens, another guy who played up and back. Brent Burns was a forward for a while when he came in the league.
Jason
another
Strudwick.
guy. Yeah, Jason Strudwick. Elite, all elite players. There's another guy, Sammy Kapanen. He did that as well. Kapanen's, the guy in the Oilers?
Kasperi.
Sorry, I always want to call him Sammy. So his dad also played some D. Because I know when you look at all those guys, maybe not John Clem and I, but they're all really good skaters. And that's, if you can skate, you can play D. And this is 25 years ago. So remember, not everyone can skate like they do now. Not that there was bad skaters, but I think that overall the average of skating has improved in the last 20 years. So yeah, it's tough. And but Fedorov, those teams are so good. It was embarrassing. Datu, Fedorov, all these guys, Eisenman, Lidstrom, it was just like shift after shift. There was no breaks.
Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Before we let you go, Struddy, I want to ask you this. So on the topic of Sergey Fedorov and the ability to go from forward to playing on the back end and do so at an elite level, and I could ask you both this question, of today's NHL players, forwards, who would do it best?
Oh, it's a tough one. You got to say Connor McDavid because he's so fast. I think if I was Connor McDavid, I could skate like that. I probably would never skate backwards as a D-man. I'd always be surfing over and attacking from the weak side to put pressure on those guys because he's so quick. There's the ability to break pucks out. Just the ability to make a first pass or get pucks out of your own end with your feet. Think of Quinn Hughes, Cam McCarr, these types of guys. I guess that's kind of a lame answer, but I'm trying to think outside the box, but that's the one that keeps banging on my head. So I don't know. You got one for me, TR?
What's that?
Do you have anyone else? Is Connor the obvious choice because he's such a good skater?
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I think you're right. Everybody you mentioned were good skaters. Now, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what. If you go the other way around, what's really fascinating as well, Gary Leeman and Wendell Clark. They got drafted as defensemen, and then Wendell. Can you picture that? He played defense.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? I can't even. I've done a lot of events with him, and I've asked him, and he tells me. I just saw him a couple days ago. Wendell, and I've been hammering his ear about it. I'm like, I just explain to me what happened. He said he went to camp and, it was one day and they needed a few forwards and he just went and got in line as a forward. I'm like, what? This can't be the origin story of Wendell Clark. And, especially where he went first overall. And I believe he said in his first year in the NHL, he had 33 or 34 fights. So first overall, what a different world. But to be able to do that and then become such a feared hitter. I mean, I guess there are situations that happens. I shouldn't be that surprised. But as a player going through my career, like, I can't imagine I just can't imagine going to it's one thing to go a different forward position, play a little bit of center here and there. Sure, yeah, we're lowering guys, no problem, coach. But going back D and being confident and doing it in the NHL, I find that really, and vice versa, of course, mentioning Clark and those guys.
Well, I think going from D to forward would be a lot easier because there's less responsibility. And the hardest part as a forward, outside of scoring, is getting the puck out on your wall. And then the game's all around you. The D-man, the game is all in front of you, right? As a forward now, it's all around you. You got to be aware of what's going on. But I played forward, probably, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 games over my career. And I didn't play a lot of minutes, but it's a different place. But going back to D now and being responsible for breaking out pucks, that's a whole nother level.
Lance and Corey bringing Dustin Bufflin as well, playing forward when he was with Chicago. Just one last one, Stray. We got this coming in at a YouTube from Out on the Wire. Says, is there anyone you could think of that could be a PTO with the Oilers?
Well, what are you looking for? So you look at the back end. I mean, if I'm a D man, where are my opportunities? Right? There's 5 solid, and then you got Stetcher, you've got the other Emerson. There's the Boaki's coming up. There's not a lot of room there. So I don't know that if I was a D, this is the team I'm, trying to fight to get into. Then up front, maybe if you're a veteran winger, Mac Pacioretty, does he think that maybe he can come in and be that big body and be physical like he was last year? And maybe there's opportunity for him to spot in because he can still score, not like he used to, but he can find opportunities. So maybe there's a chance for him to be a little bit like a Corey Perry. So maybe that'd be a guy I'd maybe look at. Then in the pipes, I guess you want to bring someone in to go. But I want to take a look at this new goalie coach and how he changes or adjusts the way that the netminders play, situations and just different shots. So I guess if I'm a guy like Matt Pacioretty would come in and really be a guy that floats up and down the lineup.
Great stuff, Stretty. Appreciate it. Are you golfing right now?
I am, yeah. I'm actually playing really well, guys. So I saw Tyler Yurchuk, 1,700 shots, not a hole in one. I wonder if I could do that. Can I get one hole in one?
Would you be up for the challenge? Could we arrange that?
I don't know. I don't think so. That's a big commitment. But I don't want to fail. I don't have one hole in one in my life. And he, 1,700 shots, not one. I actually texted him. He's like, my hands are killing me. I'm like, I believe it, buddy.
But Stretty, you did dunk a basketball before. Remember that?
I did. And I think dunking is harder than shooting a hole in one, right? You don't have to be a good athlete to get a hole in one. You got to be elite to dunk.
That's what you told me once. I remember. Stretty, thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys. Right on.
That was a big debate once on the 60 days of what's more elite, hole in one or a slam dunking of the basketball. And I was like, I will never be able to dunk a basketball, TR, but I could hit a hole in one potentially.
I think the slam dunk is the most overrated thing in all of sports. Here's the net. Put it in it if you're 6'8". Like I honestly think it's the most overrated thing. I can't even believe they showed up on highlights. I think it's an insult to everybody that makes a creative play. I just think it's nothing. It's hogwash. That's what I think of slam dunks.
And a little background information for you. Tyler Yurchuk, who covers the Oilers for Oilers Nation here in town, yesterday I did a kind of a charity fundraiser thing where he was trying to hit a hole in one and he had 24 hours to do so. Took, over 1,000 swings, lipped out once or twice, was close, but couldn't sink it. So, it was quite the adventure for Yurchuk, and he's going to be on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about that. But we'll take a break right now. When we come back, 5 questions with Declan Kruger. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Terry Ryan sitting in with you here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases start at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress. And get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Mission Rail and Auctioneering's major public unreserved heavy truck auction is this Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring Tridem, tandem, and single-axle trucks with cabin chassis, day cabs and tractors, digger derricks, hydrovacs, man lifts, pickers, and refuse compactors. Info at maauctions.com.
The ATV Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATV Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atvclassic.com.
Mission Rail and Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes selling a large section of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
If I could write you a song.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. It is Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza. Use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, also Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by playalberta.ca. Tonight, Lotto Max $75 million plus 12 max millions. Check it out, playalberta.ca. Remember, use your game sense. GameSenseAB.ca. Connor Halley, Terry Ryan, Wanye Gretz with you here. Got Declan keeping us on track. Also, Josh Fenwick. A lot of people here keeping us going here with the vacationing Jason Gregor. Right now, we're going to get to 5 questions brought to you by The Bricking. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit towards sleep accessories. That's linen, box springs, lifestyle, adjustable bases, and bed frames. It's the mattress sale of your dreams at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1. Do you guys think Lucic has even a shred of anything left in the tank? He signs with PTO.
TR, we'll start with you.
I do, and I'll tell you this because I know he was never the swiftest at foot, but he knows he knows that this question is coming up throughout North America, throughout the hockey world. I shouldn't say North America, but a lot of people, this is a story today. And a lot of people are rooting for him, but a lot of people thought he was washed up a long time ago. Now, I think he had to deal with some things. I'm glad it's done. But now that he's got a clear head, he knows. And if I know anything about Milan Lucic, is that he is a determined guy. And I don't think he's going to go out and embarrass himself. I think he knows exactly that he has a chance, and he would have put himself in the best situation. If he's choosing to do this and put himself in the limelight, then I think he has confidence he can get the job done. And Milan Lucic with confidence, I'm not saying he's going to go and score you 20 goals anymore or anything like that, but I think he'll be able to help. I was going to say somebody, but now the Blues have taken a chance. They know what they're doing. My prediction is that he makes the team.
Wow. I would agree with you that he's far enough removed from the game, TR, that if he thinks he can come back, there's probably something there, right? It's not like he was in the league last year and he hasn't taken time off. So I think it's a good storyline. I think he has every right in the world to sign a PTO, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if a team would for any player just be like, I'm going to give this guy a shot, but he might be someone where a team would say, if you think you can play, we'll give you a go because you might still have something left in the tank. Like TR said, the foot speed was never his game. So how much has he lost? How much can he make that up? We'll see. I think he has a chance, but I don't think I'm overly confident. I'd say there's still a gleam, but I don't know if I'd be putting down too much money on it.
I would say, and just to elaborate, I think there's a level of toughness to this.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be able to play, and I know the game isn't the same, but it's nice to have somebody on the bench that can protect people, and maybe they're thinking that way, right? I mean, Ryan Reeves is still playing. You watched him; he's still going to play this season, and I'm not saying that they're the same player, but there is something about having a guy who's known as one. It's not like he just drops the gloves. He's one of the toughest from his era, and just having that kind of toughness on the bench means something.
Oh, back to me. All right. Question number 2. Daniel Jones named the starting quarterback for the Colts. Who are some of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL in your estimation? Give me a couple.
Well, I'm a big Shedeur Sanders guy, so I'm a salty hater that Joe Flacco is getting QB1. So I'll start with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I've got questions about Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. There's some other ones there. Cam Ward would be some questions because I just don't know what he's going to do at the NFL level, but there's a couple for me. TR?
Well, the main one for me, I just don't see. Flacco's 40, and I just don't know. I just don't know if he can pull this off. And Cleveland has a history of making some questionable decisions, and they do have, like you said, Sanders. And I'm not saying I'm Sanders now. I don't know. There's a lot of hype, and people might argue with where he got drafted and everything, but he did get drafted there, and he's fourth in line. That's the way. I just thought with those players, possible. I forget, and you got Gabriel. I forget the second guy, but anyway, I was surprised that that he got the job, and I just don't know at 40 why you would need to go there, and I just see a lot of disappointment coming out of that.
I'm surprised that you think, TR, that the Browns have made mistakes. I can only think of 30, 40 mistakes off the top of my head that franchise has made recently.
Give or take.
Question number 3. By the way, I can't believe any of you guys mentioned Daniel Jones himself or any of the quarterbacks in New Orleans.
Believers.
Obvious answers for me. Question number 3. John Wall retired today. Who was the most electric point guard for you as a fan?
Now, does this mean non-active players like John Morant?
Yeah, it could be this guy still playing. Just a point guard. Because point guards are generally thought of, or historically, have kind of been facilitators. But then there was they ushered in the era of the scoring one guard, and John Wall obviously fit that mold. So
absolutely, I think John Morant is very exciting on and off the court.
TR?
Oh, I'm going to be Mad Dog Russo. I'm going to take a page out of his book and go Bob Cousy. There you go. I didn't know who Bob Cousy was till he was talking about him. And he brings up these guys that played like eras ago, and so I often look into him. I don't know what he's talking about. He gets on with Stephen A, and they have the odd discussion, debate, argument. And anyway, I was pretty impressed. Now, is he the most electric that I've seen? Probably not, but I figured I'd take something out of left field because I was very, very surprised at how good he was. And when I looked how much respect he got, and he's almost a name that's forgotten.
My answer is the answer, Allen Iverson. I know he played a little shooting guard as well, but AI was absolutely electric in his heyday, carrying that 76ers team to the final. And Declan, I mean, how can you not say Magic, right? His name's Magic.
All great answer. I wouldn't say Magic was electric, though. Like, he was just one of the best players ever, but like never averaged 18 points a game for his career. Yeah, he was cool, but electric, I think of I kind of agree with Wanye's train of thought of, John Morant. Like, for me, the answer was Derrick Rose.
If you like bad role models, maybe.
Car dancing.
Question number 4. Which NFL player do you think will have a serious regression or be a disappointment this season?
I guess maybe I'll take the first one on this one. I think there's probably a few, like just Trey Hendrickson. He hasn't played. It might be a little bit lower. But the one I'm going to go with is Sam Darnold. He's not playing in Minnesota anymore. Doesn't have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Hawkinson there. So I'll say Sam Darnold probably isn't putting up 35 touchdowns this year.
It's probably.
I would say. Sorry. Did I cut you off there?
No, not at all. No.
I think the Aaron Rodgers experiment's going to go south quick. That's what I think. And I suppose that's the one that would stand out to me now. And maybe Travis Kelce. I just think it's easy to get caught up in things that are distractions. And you've been so good and competitive for so long. He either goes all in and has an unreal year, or you start to see it fade quite a bit. That's what I think.
I think Joe Flacco is going to be disappointing, Declan, because he's in the way of Shedeur Sanders' ascension.
I wouldn't really call that a regression, though. Like, he's already pretty bad.
Well, it's going to get worse.
Question number 5, Mount Rushmore season. What is your Mount Rushmore of things that make you feel cool?
DR, you want to kick this one off?
Things that make you feel cool, like Fonzie cool?
Yeah, like Fonzie.
Not air conditioning, yeah.
I guess, I know the leather jacket, a nice pair of shades. For me, I suppose the one unique thing I got that I would, not unique, but I would consider coolish is my snakeskin boots. I like wearing those with a pair of jeans and heading out. I guess you feel, I don't know if cool is the word, but maybe styling a little bit. I think Struds would like them.
Snakeskin boots are a good answer. That's a good answer.
Wanye?
I'll tell you, this might just be for me. Well, it is just for me. But when I see a car in traffic with an Oilers Nation sticker on it, I assume they're my best friend. And I've had some very awkward exchanges at lights with people where I'm like waving at them and pointing, and they're just looking at me like I don't care about this strange person in traffic. But anytime I see an Oilers Nation sticker, I'm super pumped.
Just one?
What do you mean?
Well, it's Mount Rushmore.
Oh, well, I can keep going if you like.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore's 4.
I'm a big fan of inventing parking spots, Declan, that perhaps law-abiding
I have
citizens.
an answer similar to that.
And if I roll in and park, I'll never park in a handicap stall because that pushes it too far, but I will start my own row. I will park in places that shouldn't be. And when I come out and I don't see a parking ticket, that's a Fonzie moment for me.
That's a good one. I kind of like TR, like new pair of shoes. Fresh pair of Nikes, and always going to look good. I like that one. Sunglasses, for whatever reason, when I don't know what it is, they just, you feel cool when you get the sunglasses on. I always feel cool when I go to the grocery store and I get to go right to a new till.
Ooh,
you walk in, you walk out, and last one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't feel cool that often.
What? If a stewardess on a plane asks you if you'd like to move rows, I generally will dust my shoulders off and say yes.
Or you get called up as your first class. That's pretty cool.
That doesn't happen, but they'll be like, sir, do you want to sit next to the washrooms at the back? Nobody else wants to sit here on this red eye. I say, you betcha.
Declan, what makes you feel cool?
Oh, man, I got a great Mount Rushmore for this one. First, gutting tobacco. That makes me feel cool. Second, parallel parking in front of people. That makes me feel cool.
Well said.
Third, cutting in line, not cutting in line, but like getting entrance into like a bar or a club. That makes me feel cool. And the third one, being the guy people ask you a question about. Like if you're in a big group of people and they're like, hey, Declan, what's that thing? And you have an answer for them. That makes me feel cool.
I kind of say like the feeling after like 2 or 3 beers. Feeling pretty confident. Like liquid courage, you're feeling cool.
Another good one that almost made my list would have been like a good dap. That makes you feel pretty cool.
Yeah.
Being able to fix things, that makes you feel pretty cool. But
these are all great answers, boys.
Yeah,
this is almost a chapter of a book.
I thought about this one a lot. It started with gutting tobacco, then we worked the question back.
What does gutting tobacco mean? I wasn't born during the Civil War.
Like swallowing your chewing tobacco.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty cool, isn't it?
I wouldn't think you're cool.
TR's impressed. I can tell. I heard him say, "Oh yeah," on the other side.
I know where you're going. I can see the flavor. I know where you're going with it for sure. I can identify.
It would be kind of cool. Anyways, that's it for 5 questions.
And come on, cutting in line at a bar, like walking. That's the best.
I had it
That's
here
the
as
best.
my other
Yeah,
thing. That's a good feeling.
That is a really good one. TR, thanks for doing this today. Enjoy. Well, I guess your next couple of days, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Declan. Thank you, Edmonton, and we'll chat in a couple of days.
There you go. Terry Ryan, former NHLer, podcaster, actor, author, Hall of Famer. Guy does it all. Lucky to have him join us a couple times a week here on the Jason Gregor Show. Man, he says snakeskin boots are better described as badass.
Oh,
Jordan, when I wake up and have a full bladder, knowing I did not wet myself.
I see.
That's a cool feeling. I think Declan actually had the good ones. Like, I will say, I might have reached out to you in my younger days, like, hey, find?
Of course.
You know, and I had to ask you once, am I allowed to wear hats there back in the day and all sorts of things like that? So that is a good one, actually.
You know, it's funny because obviously we do Elks 101, Elks Central with Rick, who owns the Pint.
He's the manager of the Pint. Not to diminish his role.
I have like visions of me walking up to the Pint being like, no, I know Rick. And Rick showing up and being like, yeah, I don't care. Back of the line, buddy. That's a big fear of mine.
You could get in. One time I went to billiard club and they let me in, and billiard club used to have really long lines. Like they were infamous for it. And I celebrated too wildly and then they kicked me out. So they're like, you can get past the line. I'm like, yeah. And I was kind of like moonwalking up to the door. And then they're like, nope, you're out.
That was lame. Get out.
And the whole line was like, yeah, that guy. And I was like, I had it though. Everyone saw I got in. But then I was out. Declan loves that. I think I broke Declan. Good times.
This guy's serious right now?
Yeah. Broken. 5:02 on the clock.
Is he going to be able to do an update?
He needs to turn that mic off. He's laughing too hard. He's having too fun.
Wow. Never heard Declan laugh like that. It's like Step Brothers. I've never heard you laugh like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good story. I like the vision of you grooving.
It wasn't good.
In front of the line.
Nope. Wasn't my finest hour.
I don't think Declan can do an update. I'm nervous to throw it a break right now. Deep breaths, buddy. Deep breaths. Should we go to break?
Let's see what he can do.
What's that? The billiard club is something else now, right?
Dollies.
Country.
Is it?
Yeah.
Daisies. It was Dollies. They changed it.
Was it?
Yeah. It was like an arcade bar briefly.
Oh. All right. Well, Daisies now. Country. We'll take a break. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, our Sports 1440 update. They're hiring HVAC installers, plumbers, starting bonuses to the right candidate. Strong benefits, RRSP matching tuition reimbursement. Apply today at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores around the MLB, Astros and Tigers tied at 0. That one delayed in at the top of the first. Other scores see the Cardinals leading the Marlins 1-0 at the end of the first. Blue Jays up 3-0 on the Pirates at the bottom of the first. And in the top of the second, the Mets and Nats tied at 0-0. Just one final from earlier today sees the Cubs over the Brewers 6-4. Montreal Alouettes announced that quarterback Caleb Evans will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. The National Lacrosse League's Albany Firewolves are officially relocating to Oshawa ahead of the 25-26 season, and the Indiana Fever announced today that guard Sophie Cunningham will miss the remainder of the season with a knee injury. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantor. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $75 million with 12 max millions. Get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. You can also make a deposit. When you do so, use code word Gregor50 to get a $50 bet. Use your GameSense, GameSenseAB.ca. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz. We got Declan Kruger and Josh Fenwick with you here in the studio. A packed house as we're talking sports on this Tuesday afternoon. Coming up in a second here, we are going to get to Mark Spector. We'll get to the oil report coming up in this hour as well, and maybe a bonus edition of Wanye's World. We'll see if he's up to it. But right now, let's get to the Spec Report. Brought to you by GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure. They make your life more enjoyable with running water and indoor plumbing. They're the grinders of the construction industry. GS Construction. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Doing awesome, boys. What's going on in the studio today?
Yeah, packed house. We're having a good time. Vibes are high, I would say, and some interesting storylines going on around the NHL. And PTO is becoming a little bit of a topic. A couple handed out today, and a guy that I think you're familiar with, covered him for a few years here in Edmonton. Milan Lucic getting one for a chance to join the St. Louis Blues, or maybe even another team who might like what they see. What were your thoughts when you saw that headline today?
That's good. Mixed thoughts. Like, we were talking with Kev this morning. The first thing is I'm really happy that, he's putting it together. He left the game in not a great way, right? He ended up in the program and his life was sort of going a little bit sideways. So by all accounts, things are good for Milan and his family and all of that stuff. So we're happy about that. So that's the first thing. He's obviously in a position to come play hockey and be a productive player and live a productive life. So we love that. Now let's see if he can play. Like, it's an awfully tall order, missing basically 2 seasons at 37. He was not a fast player, and this league is no place for guys who are not fast. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I don't know where you'd put the odds at for him playing, let's say, 25 NHL games this season. I just don't know what the odds would be at that, but that's his challenge. He's got to keep up somehow to a young group of NHL compatriots here that are awfully quick these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the speed will be a thing. We had TR talking about it, and he said, maybe the toughness might be something that a team might look forward to. And obviously, he's been through a lot. He could be a good leader on a squad, but we'll have to see. Now, on the Oilers side of things, kind of a deep roster here. Would be tough potentially to make it on this squad with a PTO. But do you think there's any names or positions the Oilers might look at the professional tryout option?
I mean, I can't think of one. There's certain. It depends who you are. If you're a guy that's trying to, let's say you're a top 6 player, or you think you are. Let's say you're like a Jeff Skinner type guy from last year. Edmonton's a hard team to go to because they've got a lot of good players. The positions are pretty much handed out. And I would say to you, you probably are going to do better in some other cities like San Jose or Calgary or the Islanders or someone like that. But if you're a guy like Milan Lucic, where the Oilers could afford to carry a guy like that if they felt like they wanted him, because they could say, listen, we're playing a tough team tonight, so we need you. And tomorrow night we're not playing a tough team, so you're either in the press box or you're going to play 6 minutes. So, the Oilers are different. They're not they're looking for a different PTO than the Calgary Flames are looking for. The Oilers are looking for a specialized kind of position, I would say to you. And I'm not sure they'll end up with one, frankly. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. And I mean, it's a guy who's been very popular amongst Oilers fans, and I've seen it on social media. Clem Costin gets brought up, but I just think this team is kind of set with their roster. And maybe if your goal is to potentially play with some good players and get your name out there and, sign with another team, Edmonton might be an option. But I think I'm with you. I'm not exactly sure about this happening for them. Now, we got to talk a little Toronto Blue Jays baseball, because I'm sure you saw it yesterday with Tommy Pham. You saw the whole incident?
Yeah, I did see it, and I heard that the catcher Heineman said, I don't know what happened. I didn't even say anything to the guy. And then I saw today that Pham came out and accused Barger of being on steroids.
Yeah.
So, that's a little off the hook. That's not something that should happen. So that's all I know. I'm kind of waiting to watch the game tonight and see exactly what happens here.
So Tommy Pham not playing, which is disappointing, because I'm kind of thinking Scherzer might have done something about it. There might have been some high heat, which we won't see. He's not in the starting lineup. But the whole code, flipping the bat, resulting in the bases or the benches clearing and guys coming in from the outfield. Do you like that sort of thing in Major League Baseball? Do you think the code still has to happen on a thing like that?
I mean, no, I do not. I think that I want to say to you that flipping your bat, remember when they freaked out about Bautista flipping his bat?
Yeah. We might have lost Mark Spector. We might need to try to get him on once again here. Sound like he just went underwater.
Oh boy.
That's not good for radio. We might have to try to get him back on here in a second. But in case you missed it, yeah, there was Tommy Pham didn't like the framing of the balls and maybe gave him a look. There was some back and forth. Pham flips his bat. It was not like Bautista. It wasn't high in the air. It was below the waist, and the reaction happened. And Spec, you kind of touched on the Bautista incident happened, and that was a big deal. This one a little bit less. I don't know.
Whatever. It's whatever. To me, guys are flipping their bats all over the place now. It's like in hockey. The code in hockey is nowhere near as stringent. The young guys don't respect it the way the old guys did. Baseball is no different. But I will say this to you. I don't care about Pham's bat flip. Who cares? But I'll say this, and I'm not completely in on this because I want you to confirm this for me. Kevin told me this morning that he came out somehow on Twitter or something and accused Barger of being on steroids. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Someone had, I believe, Barger as their profile picture, and he made a comment about him being juiced, and I believe he's deleted these tweets since.
Yeah, so that is against the code. Mm-hmm. And if I'm pitching against that guy and Barger's my teammate, he gets one in the ribs, and maybe he gets a second one in the ribs. That is completely, absolutely out of contention of things you should do. And there's a reason Pham's not playing tonight, because MLB phoned the Pirates and said, keep this guy to the lineup or there's going to be massive trouble, because Scherzer would drill him the very first pitch. You don't come out on social media. Listen, lots of guys in the big leagues are probably on juice. Who knows? I'm not here to tell you who is and who isn't. But it is not up to one big leaguer to tell the world about another big leaguer being on juice. Like that is so outside the bounds of the code that, you know, his own pitcher might drill him for doing that, frankly, let alone Scherzer. So yeah, he shouldn't play tonight. He shouldn't play tomorrow. And the veterans on his team will be talking to him.
Yeah. Well, and you know, he is a vet. He should know better than that. And you're right. I totally agree with you. Scherzer 100% would have done something. Jays up 5-0 in the top of the second right now. So maybe they might have motivated the Jays bats just a little bit. George Springer with a 2-run shot in this one to get it going. But yeah, the Jays certainly motivated right now. I want to just ask you, you know, with Scherzer, what you've seen from him this season, how confident are you, despite the age, with him going into the playoffs?
Well, I don't know. Last few starts, he's been really good. You know, like when we get to September and October, it's not necessarily, you know, it's really not about how you pitched in June, July, and August. Like, I want to know how you're pitching now. And, you know, like Scherzer's, he's a veteran. He's pitched in every situation. No moment is going to be too big for him, right? He's pitched in World Series before. He's done it all. So let's watch his stuff and let's make sure his stuff's good. He doesn't get to pitch, Connor, because his last name is Scherzer.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to pitch because he's pitching like the old Max Scherzer. And if he is, I'll run him out there every day.
The potential the Jays pitching staff has is really good. I mean, if Shane Bieber can come up and find his game, that's going to be a fun team to watch down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Oh, boy.
Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in. I want to ask you about Sergey Federov. The Red Wings announcing today they're going to retire his number 91. I kind of thought this would have been done earlier. I mean, he was such a dynamic player, could play up front, could play in the back end. We've talked about the swagger he had with the Nike skates and the white skates. And I mean, just a cool guy on and off the ice. What do you remember about Sergey Fedorov in your time covering the league?
So for me, Sergey Fedorov was one of the first, like, there was the old Russians, like the Krutovs and the Makarovs and the Fetisovs and the guys who were old Russia. And to me, those guys are history. They're long gone. They're old. Russians play like we play now. You know what I'm saying? It's not, there are none of the old Russians that do the things that those old communist Russians used to do, you know? And to me, Fetisov was one of the first ones. He came here. He was a guy that had to escape from the old country, but he quickly became an NHL player. And he had such an immense amount of skill. Like, he was such a good player. But to me, he was one of the transitional Russian guys. It wasn't very long before he wasn't playing like a really good Russian. He was just playing like a really good NHL player. And he skated like the wind. Scotty Bowman put him on defense when he needed to. His skills were just abnormal. But that was it for me. He was somewhere between that first group that came. I know he was part of the Russian Five with Detroit, and they're legendary. But he was a younger version of that first group of old-time, hardened Viktor Tikhonov disciple Russians that came. And he came over and he kind of turned into an NHLer pretty quick, and he loved the lifestyle here, and he lived here, and he lived in Detroit. And what a great player, like just a magical hockey player. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fun to watch. And, you know, Struddy talks about how they threw him on the blue line. Of all of a sudden, he's the best defenseman in the league. And he said even like on a team with Nick Lidstrom, he was still stood out as how good he was. So unbelievable versatility with Sergey Fedorov. And then before we let you go here, probably should touch on the Team USA camp that they're going to have for the men's hockey team. A lot of good names there. Lane Hudson was a name that some people had said maybe he could have been there just to get the opportunity to be around them. But that American squad spec, that's going to be a tough task at the Olympics once again. Yeah, they're really good. They're really skilled. You know, they got to win. Like, to me, the Americans are, you know, whatever it is that about Canadian hockey, like, we used to beat everybody else because we were just better. Well, now we're not just better anymore. But we still have something. We still have something that puts us ahead. Obviously, we have great depth. But when you're only picking 25 guys, the Americans can pick 25 guys too, right? Like, depth isn't an issue when you're only picking 25 guys. If you're picking 60, then Canada's going to win every day. So to me, you know, the last advantage that Canada has over the world, and particularly over the U.S., is we probably have more. I don't know what it is that we have. You know, are we more aggressive? Do we have more big skill? Are our best players larger and more aggressive than their best players. Like, I want to say Quinn Hughes is an unbelievably great defenseman, but he weighs 160 pounds. Lane Hudson's an unbelievable defenseman. He weighs 160 pounds. Canada's best defensemen are bigger and stronger. So here's where I come from, Connor. Until the USA starts beating us in the big tournament on a regular basis, I come from the school where they can't beat us in the big tournament on a regular basis. They got to show it. They've been a really good team for a long time in the U.S. They got great players. They got all these guys. And when push comes to shove, Canada's better. So, until the Americans change that recipe, I'm betting on Canada every day. How about that?
I love it. And we saw that the Four Nation face-off game on the line. Who wanted it more? It was the Canadians for sure. Spec, thanks for doing this.
Canada won that game. They had a lot of chances. I'm not sure how it happened, but in the end, again, until the U.S. wins that game, they're the second best team, and that's just a fact.
You know what? Jordan Binnington. That might be another reason why, because he made some huge saves in that game. Spec, thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, boys.
There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joins us as he does every day here on the Jason Gregor Show just after 5 o'clock. Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Now, we did have a text come in here from Jonathan. Jonathan said, okay, please recap what caused that extended session of uncontrollable laughter. I had to take a call and I missed it. Well, we were talking about things that make you feel cool, like as TR said, like the fawns, not temperature-wise.
Sure.
And Wanye, I'll let you say what you said.
Well, it's hard to retell a joke, but I just mentioned one time that I got into an Edmonton nightclub, jumped the whole line, celebrated wildly, and the bouncer in front of everybody told me I couldn't come in, even though he just agreed to let me in. And like people on the line were laughing, and then I had to go walk the length of the line to White Ave.
And I think you said moonwalking, and you kind of did a little jig that might have pushed Declan over the top.
Might have been the physical portion of the show. I did a little estimate of my dance, but
so like Will says, LMAO, Declan, X-ray gogs, good recovery, Big D. Declan, what pushed you over the top? Was it the visual or just the thought of it happening?
Was it is hilarious for me to think of like that situation. It's such something you would see in a Seth Rogen movie or a sitcom where someone like moonwalks their way past the entire line under the under the idea that they're going to get into this bar, then being turned away. I could not contain myself.
It was the early 10s. I probably had finger guns going because that's what we did.
Big back then.
Wow, we would.
John Morant's bringing it back, but it was big then too.
2010. You probably moonwalked right past me. Who is
I didn't
that
say
guy?
2010. Good heavens, try to date me. I said it was the early 10s. That could be up to including 14.
Okay, well, I mean, I still could have been there.
Yeah,
probably not.
No, you weren't a big White Ave guy in those days.
Oh, we were, but sometimes we would just go to Woolly Bullies.
Oh boy,
that might have actually been 2000s. 2007, 8, 9 or something.
That was a heck of a place, though.
Loved that basement. Had a good time down there.
Tumbled down those stairs a few times.
Yeah, you'd learn to hold a handrail.
2 floors, and then Iron Horse too. All the good bars had staircases to fall down in those days.
Was it what was above Woolly Bullies? Suite 69.
Yep.
Their bathroom had a toilet.
No. Well, Suite 69 was over by where El Cortez is, or was. Wasn't that the second floor there? Wasn't Woolly Bullies basement?
Main floor and basement.
You're right.
Because then sometimes like the dance floor would get going at Woolly Bullies.
Oh yeah.
Good spot.
Great times.
Yeah. Good memories. Let's talk about old bars. Everyone loves that conversation.
I could do that all day long in the 06 Cup run. If that was a radio show, I could do it 24 hours a day.
That topic comes up maybe twice a year, and it's like old school bars, and the text line goes crazy because everybody has one that they love.
Of course.
I'm going to be at what I guess I would call it kind of like a community bar. No, neighborhood pub type thing for the Elks watch party this week. And I'm thinking like that would be a good topic. What makes a good neighborhood pub?
Oh boy.
Is it the slots?
It's the neighbor. It's seeing your neighbors, I think, has a lot to do with it. Like if you can actually draw from the surrounding area, that's cool.
Yeah.
To see regulars.
Yeah, exactly. You always see there. Gotta have a good wing night.
Gotta have a wing night.
That's key.
Pool table?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't hurt.
Darts.
Jukebox.
Golden tea is big for me personally.
Yeah.
Buck hunter.
Oh yeah.
Food has to be okay.
I can get around bad food.
I had a community pub that we've talked about before that they would say it was like kokanee, but it was AGD.
So they changed the labels?
Well,
or is this on tap?
On tap. It'd be like, yeah, we'll call it this, but it's going to be a cheaper version.
I'll tell you a quick story, Connor. I was a partner in my first bar when I was 19. And it's ill-advised for anybody that young to get in the bar business. I also didn't drink.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked like the most exciting thing in the world. And when I would day bartend, I didn't know how to change kegs. So people would be like, hey, can we get a jug of kokanee? I'm like, of course. I give them a jug of whatever was pouring. And then somebody would be like, oh, just so you know, like I ordered kokanee and you gave me something wrong. And I'd be like, oh, my apologies. And I would go stir it with a straw in the pitcher and bring it back to them because I didn't know how to change the kegs.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, yeah, no, that's better. Sorry, man. I can just tell. Like I'm a big beer guy. I'm like, oh, no, my apologies.
Yeah.
I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, no one can tell beers apart, especially in a neighborhood pub.
No, ours, I knew I had insiders. Yeah. That kokanee was AGD.
Oh, boy.
Oh, well. Let's take a break. When we come back, more text. We'll get to the Oil Report and more. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
This is Nuge's Nuggets, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. What nugget of cooling advice does Nuge have today?
An air conditioner works by blowing air across the cold evaporator coil where the heat is absorbed into the refrigerant. I actually don't know what that means. Kind of like Zach Hyman with goaltender interference. Sorry, Zach. Well, you got me there.
Get no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Proud sponsor of Nuge's Nuggets.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
It's the Bricks mattress sale of your dreams. Score dreamy deals like up to 40% off mattresses and queen beds starting at just $269. Get select king mattresses for the price of a queen and select queen mattresses for the price of a twin. Plus, queen platform bases starting at just $299. Score 20% off metal bed frames when you buy any mattress and get free local delivery when you buy any mattress on your Flexity card. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
McDonald's sundaes and snack-size shakes are $2, or get $1 cones exclusively on the McDonald's app. With those prices, your hands are going to be full of treats. Like Alex here. My phone. I got you. App download and registration required. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and you'd think that as a used RV expert, I'd be a real do-it-yourself guy. Oh, I know all the dirty and grungy stuff that has to be done to keep your quality used RV healthy, and I actually don't like doing it. That's why I hired a whole service team at No Bull. I get to talk about it on TikTok, and they get their hands dirty.
Gotta be some perks to being the boss, Rick.
That's right, Bob. It's only fair that I share it with everyone, which is why we created our Camp Ready Club. Here's how it works. For one low monthly cost of just $30, we'll do your spring opening, fall closing, and all your regular scheduled maintenance on your used RV.
Plus, club members get priority discounts and perks as well.
You know it, Bob. Camp Ready means you've got everything you need. But if you require service or repair during the peak summer season, Camp Ready members go to the front of the line to get you back to the great outdoors faster.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.5:30. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Wanye Gretz, Josh Fenwick with you here on the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, $75 million Lotto Max. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use your Game Sense, GameSenseAB.ca. Our text line, 1-833-401-1440. Dave texted in earlier just about the difference between Canada and the Americans when it comes to hockey. He says, we have heart. We care about the game. It means something to us. That's the difference between us and the Americans in hockey. Hey, when it's best on best, Canada has been able to find a way as of late at the Linka Gretzky. Canada fell to the United States in a shootout, which some might argue not real hockey. The Americans wanted it, though, at the Four Nation. Jordan Binnington just made some absolutely massive saves. Like he was so good in that overtime period. Who wasn't at the edge of their seat watching that game? Like it was good hockey, and good on the NHL for recognizing that. Like they have to. You have to have best on best hockey and go back to the Olympics, do it your style. I was skeptical when they announced about the tournament. I thought, man, maybe they're not going to try that hard. Like, is Matthias Ekholm going to bury Connor McDavid in the corner? Probably not, but the tempo was good. Let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Discovery Day sales on now. Lease the 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid for 1.49%. Save $7,500 only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. You know what? Gregor passed me in his Volvo. I guess it would have been last Friday or Thursday. Sweet ride.
Super sweet.
Really nice. So, yeah, go check it out. VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. On the topic of international hockey and the Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Wanye Gretz. When we look at this team for Canada, McDavid a lock. Is anyone else going to represent Canada from the Oilers? Hyman, Nuge, and Bouchard going to the camp. I could
see Hyman making the team.
I could see Hyman, if he has a good start, you have in a tournament that you have to hit the ground running. You want someone who plays with McDavid. And I wonder if McDavid has the pull to say, I want Hyman.
Wow.
Like
Darnell Nurse?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
To camp?
No. Well, he's not going to the initial one.
He's not?
No.
Oh, then.
Bouchard, McDavid, Hyman, and
Right,
Nuge.
that's it. Okay.
So I think Nuge is even quite a long shot.
Bouchard?
Maybe. It wouldn't, if he was on the team, it wouldn't blow my mind. NHL Network has him, they had him ninth in the league in defenseman last year, 10 this year. So he's a top 10 defenseman. The thing is, running a power play, you're going to have Cale Makar out there, right? So do you need a second guy like that? Maybe.
For the second unit?
Maybe. Would you have him in the lower lineup? Maybe he's there, but doesn't play every game or doesn't get into the tournament. Maybe that's something. But yeah, I wonder because, hey, we saw Chris Kunitz got onto the team with Sidney Crosby back in the day because it's the same sort of theory. He plays with him well. He's going to be on your top line. Might as well have someone who can, have that chemistry, know where to go. Zach Hyman, he's the kind of guy, in my opinion, you put him anywhere in the lineup. Like, he has the touch to score and play with McDavid, but in terms of being a grinder and always bringing it, having the right attitude and work ethic, he's elite in that category. So I think he could be a realistic option.
Imagine being Connor and being so influential that not only are you a lock to make the team, but you can demand line mates.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he would, but would it be crazy? Like, he could say, like, hey, I'm not saying, but you should probably bring him and see what Hockey Canada says.
we don't ever want to look backwards because I don't think that's healthy. But Zach Hyman with his arm injury had such a big role for the Oil in the finals.
Yeah, not having Zach Hyman is huge. And, there was some talk. Maybe it takes a little bit longer for him to get back with the injury lingering in. We have to wait and see for sure. I mean, that injury was not good. The second it happened, right? To see the way he reacted straight down the tunnel, it wasn't good. But it'd be an interesting one. Now, Leon Draisaitl, lock. I think we probably say lock for Germany.
Good heavens. Imagine Germany was like, I don't know. Leon Draisaitl, second best player in the league, German.
Would you buy the jersey? Because he's, in all likelihood, going to wear the C.
I love Leon Draisaitl very, very much. I would never wear anything other than a Team Canada jersey.
Really?
No.
I have a Oman soccer jersey.
Oh, that's okay. Like, I've got weirdo international jerseys, but like wearing a Draisaitl Germany jersey to me dishonors Wayne Gretzky in Team Canada.
Okay, how about Matthias Ekholm?
Nope.
Well, no. Well, will he play for Sweden?
Oh, of course, yes. Assuming he's healthy.
Assuming he's healthy. How about Kasperi Kapanen for the Finns?
I don't know how deep they are. Would he make the team?
I don't know.
What about the Iceman on Team USA?
Well, what about Trent Frederick?
Where's he from?
I believe St. Louis.
Team USA?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he's on that camp.
It's hard to see.
He's not the
it's
camp,
hard to
probably
say how
not.
valued Trent Frederick is by other teams. I mean, we clearly believe he signed until the year 2600.
Well, the Oilers believe, but does the fan base? When I will tell you, I was not probably the first person to have this, but when we talked about him, I got a text from someone I can't say where from. It will give it away. And I don't know if he wants it to be known, but it was 8 years. And we brought that up like way before the contract. Our text line was like, no chance.
There are some things you talk to Gregor about on or off the air, and I just don't understand. I will say that Jason Gregor knows best about sports out of anyone ever. Would you agree?
Ever?
Wow, that I've ever come across.
The Schwab guy was unbelievable. Yeah, elite knowledge, yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, really? That many years for Trent Frederick? He's like, oh, yeah, of course, buddy. You have to. I'm like, you have to? What are you talking about? 8 years? Like, isn't the CBA amended so you can't do that anymore?
You can't go too much longer, I don't think, yeah.
What did they see in Trent Frederick this season that they thought we need 8 more seasons of this guaranteed? Would a 6-year deal have been too foolhardy?
I wonder, because he's 27 years old. Born Feb 11th. So he'll turn 28 this year. So you got him until he's 36.
Why so long?
And the number we've heard, like with the cap going up, it'll make it, in terms of percentages, it's comparable like 3 million, 3.5. They must know something.
They must know something because they didn't see how many games did he play for the Oil?
23.
That's not a lot of hockey to lock in for 8 more seasons.
Regular season 1. If he's the guy that was like playing the first shift against the Kings in that one game, that was his first game, I believe. First shift. He was great. He was flying around, making plays.
Totally.
When you think of the playoffs in Trent Frederick, what comes to mind?
I don't know. Not much.
Getting cross-checked in the face.
Oh, yes.
That's what comes to mind.
8 years. We have 8 more years of that face getting cross-checked.
Now, positional versatility is nice. Can play center, can play wing, move him up and down. I thought reliable defensively. That's a good sign. You're kind of hoping, assuming he can get back to that 17-18 goal clip that he had a couple of years ago with Boston. If he does that, I think you're happy about it. And maybe it's a little more because we've seen players, when they get the opportunity to play with some of the Oilers' top players, show up. Maybe there's some hope there.
I get with Connor and Leon's big contracts and Evan Bouchard's big contract and Darnell Nurse's big contract that we need value.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. And then even though the salary cap is going up, they still need to lock some pieces in place. So I guess that's how they view this.
You just got to trust him.
Can you think, I'm trying to think of other 8-year contracts even. There aren't that many. That's a long contract, Connor.
It is. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look and see.
Rick DiPietro, of course.
I just put in into Google NHL 8-year contracts. People also asked, what is the 8-year contract rule in the NHL? Is number 69 banned in the NHL?
Oof. You got to flip it, Connor. You got to get off Google for these questions and go over to ChatGPT.
I don't know how
you got it, buddy. I'm going to show you at the break. Google, you ask 8-year contracts. They try to sell you a pair of shoes. You go over to ChatGPT. It's going to say, thanks for asking such a great question, and tell you just the answer.
Well, they told me that the number 69, there's no formal rule, but the NHL generally discourages it. Can you ask ChatGPT right now?
Yeah, I'll ask ChatGPT.
How many players have 8-year contracts?
Yeah, you just wait. I'm going to start with saying hello because you don't want it to make the AI mad. Hello.
Okay. You asked that. I'm going to dive into the inbox. Matt S. says, boys, Hyman's a lock. Couldn't find chemistry with any wingers of the Four Nations. Marner was invisible when it got physical and Stone was too slow. Hyman is playing with McDavid. And Matt, that's it. Like, it's simple. It was a good trial period, but you want to have somebody that has the instant chemistry with him, assuming Hyman is playing, good enough hockey, which I'd assume he would be. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. And you don't worry about what the people on the outside say. Once the tournament starts, you'll get it.
See, ChatGPT, Connor. Jacob Chikrin, Trent Frederick, Aaron Ekblad, Alexander Romanov, Jacob Slavin, Brock Faber.
There you go.
These are big deals, though, right? Like 8.5, 6.5, 6.5, 48 million for Ekblad. Trent Frederick, 8 years at 30 million.
When you say it that way, it doesn't sound so bad. 30 mil, 8 years.
But like during those negotiations, surely at some point someone was like, how about 7 years? And then someone was like, no, 8. Who said that? The agent?
Maybe Trent Frederick got to Edmonton, was like, I love it here.
Well, if he doesn't love it here, I got real bad news. You just committed contractually to 8 more winters.
The River Valley, beautiful. I like the cold. I want to be here. And he looked over and he said, how long's Leon Draisaitl under contract for? 8 years? All right, let's do it.
I suppose that's true.
Maybe I'll hang around with that guy. He's pretty good. I got to assume McDavid will stick around.
Connor signed an 8-year deal. Let us not forget. ChatGPT didn't let me.
Yeah.
McKinnon, Carlson, Nylander. There's some big names here.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense for the big names. I think people were surprised for Trent Frederick just with, how it had gone, but organization belief, that's good. Brad says, guys, I was a little disappointed to hear McDavid wouldn't do 8 years, but then I thought this. I think he and his agent said, look, I got 11 to 12 years left. I want a cup. Give me 4 years at 12 mil. Let's win it. Then I expect 7 years at max. That's my prediction. Honestly, when Leon signed his long-term, I thought McDavid would follow suit. That was my initial thought. At the same time, even if it is 4 years, that's a pretty long commitment too. Let's find a way to get this done and go from there.
I'm a pretty big Oilers fan, Connor, but paradoxically, I'm on Connor McDavid's side as he negotiates against the Oilers, even though he's the captain, even though he's our greatest modern player. I think he's got to keep him honest with a shorter term.
Yeah. And hey, if that's what it takes to motivate the team to do a little bit better, and the reason he would do that is to win a cup, then Oilers fans should be on board too.
Yep.
And if that's the end game and that's the reason for it, then so be it. And at the same time, he's got to know cap's going to keep going up. Unless something else happens crazy, the cap won't go down. So sign 4 years, play it out, and sign again for another big deal. Let's take a break, Wanye. When we come back, we'll get some more texts here. Rolling in, 1-833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, also streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X. That's all the Oilers Nation channels, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul. Edmonton Trailer.
At the Nissan All-In Clearout, there's nothing more chill than financing an award-winning Nissan for just 0%. Enjoy the soothing relaxation of zero stress, zero worries, zero indecision. During the Nissan All-In Clearout, get 0% financing plus up to $500 bonus on some of our best-selling models. You have zero reasons to wait. Conditions apply. See your local Nissan dealer today.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more details.
Get this, Metal Supermarkets now offers welding services for their customers. Simple welds, steel, stainless, and aluminum welding. TIG, MIG, and stick are all available. And I tell you, these welding helmets are really something. Like the jousters wore in the days of yore. Quick, fetch my lance.
Lance is on lunch break.
That's not what... Never mind. Metal Supermarkets, your local convenience stores for... and welding. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's not all.
Oh, we got about 10 minutes left here. It is the Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, $75 million Lotto Max, 12 Max Millions. Go to PlayAlberta.ca. Maybe you want to live bet the Jays game. You want to jump in, they're up 5-1. Wouldn't be the biggest payout, but if you make a deposit, you can use code word Gregor50 and you'll get a $50 bet once a month. Make sure to use your Game Sense. GameSenseAB.ca. Text line 1-833-401-1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Josh Fenwick with you here in the Stingray Studios, West Edmonton Mall. I did try out ChatGPT, and Wanye, you're onto something. It is quite convenient. Now, here's the thing. I just want to try something. Like, if I hypothetically wanted to look up Junior Seau.
You really are a Chargers guy, aren't you?
I am.
Through and through.
Family, friends, and the Chargers.
Okay.
So I put in his name because what I like about Google is I could put in their name and it would bring you like Football Reference, Wikipedia. I could just go to the Wikipedia page. This brings everything up. It doesn't bring his statistics, but I assume I would just have to put in statistics and that would get me to it. And plus you can search a bunch of things and it keeps it all in your history. So it is pretty clean. I'll give you that. What are the benefits to signing up?
You can do more stuff. So you can make a lot of images with ChatGPT. And that's kind of interesting because like it can actually do fairly detailed work.
Okay. Give me a random name.
Connor McDavid. Like you with the Chargers, but for the Oilers.
Give me an occupation.
NHL hockey player,
No,
Edmonton Oilers.
Something random.
Oh, I see.
This is like improv.
Oh, I see. Llama, dentist. ChatGPT is going to electrocute you. They'll say llamas don't have dentists.
How do you spell 2 L's?
2 L's. Ask ChatGPT.
Give me a city. Give me a place in the world.
Cincinnati.
All right.
Yep.
Let's see if I can do this. Draw Connor McDavid riding a llama in Cincinnati.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I have to be logged in to do it.
You know what the little dolls are? Those Labubu dolls?
Yeah.
You know about those? So I asked ChatGPT, make me a Connor McDavid Labubu doll.
Mhm.
And then I put it up on Oilers Nation Instagram. And the first comment was, this is stupid. But it's not stupid because AI did it.
My wife bought a fake one.
Fake Labubu?
Yeah, on the internet.
It's the Beanie Baby of 2025. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, my younger sister had a huge collection of Beanie Babies, and now they're worth nothing.
None of them held up in value, hey?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if you had like the Princess Diana one. But I'll show this to you.
Princess Diana?
This is the one my wife bought. It has a Prada tracksuit on.
There's something gangster about getting a bootleg Prada Labubu.
Yeah, $13.
That's all you need.
That's how you do it. But yeah, those things are popping. Don't become a clanker, Connor.
Listen to me. You become a clanker. That's the slur we've invented for ChatGPT. ChatGPT version 5.0 just came out. I'm a full-fledged clanker. ChatGPT 6, which is due out in early 2026, will have an IQ of 1,600. Clankers unite.
Is that like who actually created that term?
Clanker?
The internet?
The
Or
internet.
you? Yeah.
No, you guys got it. Text lines got it.
The pilot says, with AI, you can have interactive conversations. And also, it remembers what you've talked about in the past. So when you talk about something new, AI uses the past information in the conversation forever.
You want to know what's creepy? I've signed in, right? I'm a member.
Yeah.
It called me Wanye one day. And I have never in my life volunteered that information to ChatGPT. And so I replied, thanks, but my name isn't Wanye. And it went, oh, sorry about that. And never brought it up again.
It's like, yes, it is.
Can you imagine?
And then it drops your real name.
Not like worry you a little bit?
No. Okay. I think we're living in a simulation, Declan. I think the likelihood that we're living in ChatGPT version 20 is super high.
Colin says Grok smokes ChatGPT. Have you tried it?
Yeah, that's fair.
Grok, I asked it to draw me, and I wasn't, it didn't look like me. I wasn't a white guy.
Okay. Come on now.
It was like,
come
on.
on.
Well, it's a slippery slope, this whole AI. Have you seen these robots now?
A lot of those videos of robots are paradoxically AI generated, not real robots.
But some of them are.
Well, like the Boston
Right?
Dynamics dog
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, those are real.
Or like the robots fighting each other with like boxing gloves on.
Is
Could
that
be
real? I don't know. There was
Well-
I just saw a robot race. Have you seen that one? And it's
No.
entirely fake. So it looked like all these robots racing with their like human handlers, but then turns out you can take a video like that, put it into ChatGPT and say, is this real?
I mean, I think we're getting into some pretty scary stuff with false information and AI.
Here's another one for ChatGPT. You like this. You can take golf footage of yourself hitting balls, like record it on your phone, put it into ChatGPT. It'll critique your swing and give you drills.
Could it make it look like you hit a hole in one? That should have been the backup plan for Tyler.
Boy, he did a lot of work.
Just like end of the day, he's like, oh, it's dark. You can't see. ChatGPT went up. Hole in one. We did it.
It would have been easier to do that. Shout out to Tyler Yurchuk.
Yeah.
Raising money for Sports Central, for Ben Stelter Fund, and playing golf for a very long time. It is equally difficult to say, I'm going to go hit balls every 30 seconds for 14 straight hours. That in of itself is a remarkable feat. Anyone saying, oh, you didn't get a hole in one, I think you're mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I texted him like, hey, man, you gave people a smile. They watched you. It was 7, 8 at night, 500 plus people watching on YouTube.
I think at like 9 o'clock, it was still.
We threw it on the TV.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was
absolutely.
strangely compelling content.
It was. I don't like to volunteer because it's not me, but like annual event. This is the year. Like maybe 2026, Ty does it.
So what do you mean you don't like an annual?
I don't want to volunteer him to do it.
Oh, I'll
But
volunteer him.
An annual event, like all of a sudden it's a party out there. It's like a Friday night instead. Everyone's out having a good time. There's bonfires down the fairway. It looks like it's from like a post-apocalyptic movie.
Damn.
It'd be cool visuals.
It came up on the Real Life podcast. He was like, I can totally get a hole in one if I had enough time.
Yeah.
And that morphed into that. Him hurrying home from his honeymoon, delayed by the strike of stewardesses and air cabin people.
Well, we're going to have him on the show tomorrow. We'll talk about it. Maybe he'll come in studio and show his hands.
Oh, man.
They got to be a little mangled.
They've got to be mangled. Like he couldn't flatten his hand out and he couldn't make a fist. We're like, oh, you got 8 more hours of this in you, no problem.
Wasn't meant to be.
It was a squall, too. The weather went to heck. There's amazing footage on the Oilers Nation Instagram of him hitting blow balls. Go check that out.
Go check it out. Wanye, you'll be back tomorrow?
Yep.
Declan, you'll be back tomorrow? Benwick, you'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Big thank you to all of our guests. Cam Jansen, Brian Diardo, Terry Ryan co-hosting. We had Dave McCarthy, Struddy, Speck, and of course, 5 Questions was a fun one. Go check it out if you missed it. You can watch it on Oilers Nation YouTube all over again. Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Give it a listen, and we'll be back to do it all again tomorrow. For Wanye, Declan, and Josh, I'm Connor Halley. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger. Brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Build your game all summer long with custom training and cutting-edge tech. Become unstoppable. Sign up now at 01.ca. That's Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Scores around the majors. The Blue Jays currently lead the Pirates 5-1 in the top of the fourth. Astros and Tigers tied 0-0 in the top of the third. Cardinals lead the Marlins 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth, and the Mets lead the Nats 5-0 in the bottom of the fifth. The final from earlier today saw the Cubs over the Brewers 6-4 in game one of their doubleheader. Their second game will take place in about 10 minutes time here. In the Little League World Series, it was Japan over Mexico 6-0 earlier today, and Aruba over Canada 6-1 to send them home. One other final saw South Carolina over Hawaii 3-0, and the game currently on sees South Dakota leading Washington 1-0. Former NBA star John Wall announcing his retirements after 11 seasons in the NBA. The NLL's Albany Firewolves are officially relocating to Oshawa ahead of the 25-6 season, and the Edmonton Elks have added American wide receiver O.J. Hillier. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJ